Hello everyone, this is Rich and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. I am delighted because this is a special treat. This is a one-shot of what's probably my favorite game of all time, Lady Blackbird by 17 Designs. That's John Harper of Blades in the Dark, Ghost Lines, and a bunch of other games. Small-time designer who's blown up with Blades in the Dark. It's pretty awesome game that we're going to be playing, a steampunk adventure. And what makes this super special for me is that I'm getting to play for the first time with all four of these individuals who anyone who likes small press or fun tabletop RPG podcasts will probably recognize them. First, I'll start alphabetically by first name because that's how Google Hangouts organizes them. So that's how democratically I am. Chris Sinesiak from Misdirected Mark and Down with D&D, and basically the guy who is the main whistleblower bottle washer for the Misdirected Mark Productions group. How are you doing, Chris?
Oh, I'm great, Rich. Thanks for having me on, man.
I'm excited to have you on. Next, we have a guy who was, I don't know, he lowered the bar to have me on his show, Talking Tabletop, where he interviews noteworthy hobby people and other folks that he meets at Origins. Jim McClure, how are you doing, Jim?
I am doing outstanding because I'm going to get to play not only am I going to play a brand new system, as long as I've known you, Rich, we've never gamed together. So we are going to have our first game, and I get to try out a whole new system. So I'm excited.
It's a win-win. There are no samurai officially in the game.
Then I'm out. I was lied to. I should never have been here. I'm out. No, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun.
It's not Lady Snowbird. I'm sorry. Next, we have also from Misdirected Mark, as well as Talking Games. We have also New Gnome Stew, which Chris is as well. Do you guys have too many things you do? You have Encoded Designs. So just all those things. You can slip in more if you want. Phil Vecchio. Phil, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. This is actually a game I have yet to play, so I'm actually excited to play it, and even more so because I know you've run it like 30 times. Is that right?
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah.
It's awesome.
In fact, this year, this will be the 10th time I've run it. And Jim, if anyone who's listened to the interview, that gets me to lock in that one game on rung 10 of the Ladder of Insanity.
Yes, sir. We help with the Ladder of Insanity. It's so exciting.
I know. I love it. And last but not least, I'm so excited to have on a person I've listened to GM countless games, Cinda from Talking Games, as well as her own show, She's a Super Geek, which is an amazing AP podcast. It's so exciting to have you on, Cinda.
Thank you so much for having me and saying flattering things. Flattery will get you everywhere.
I know, flattery is like disingenuous, and I really do love listening to your shows, so super excited.
Let us be clear. Talking Games is also her show, and she's also the queen of Misdirected Mark Productions. So
I thought that was a partnership, like equality.
Pandas. Well, we're going to rebrand it a little bit, I think, to Pandas Talking Games too. I'll just throw that out there because it's impossible to find right now.
I'm aware that I'm the Lyle Lovett of that podcast team. So.
Well, you do the notes. You do the notes.
Yeah.
Notes are useful. No, I'm kidding. He does actually fantastic show notes. I edit the show, so it's a pretty even split, I think.
Yeah, I like the show mostly because it's Cinda giving tips and Phil going, yeah, you can do that in campaigns too.
It's not the outtakes. I thought everybody just liked the outtakes.
No, I stop at that point. I like the show. All right, let's get started. Lady Blackbird is a steampunk romance adventure. It is a 16-page game that won ENnie Award for Best Free RPG back in 2011. Actually, I may be misremembering. It might have just been nominated. We have an Emily sighting. How exciting! Hey, Emily Morgan, How are you? Emily also from She's a Super Geek. Big fan. So I'm so excited that you were able to join, so I wasn't sure if you were able to make it. So thank you.
I'm not sure I am. I'm sorry. I'm under a pretty big work deadline. So could you give me a timeline for this? I've never played Lady Blackbird. I'm sorry.
You bet. I usually run Lady Blackbird in about 2.5 to 3 hours. If that's too much time for you, I totally understand if you need to drop.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm under a work deadline for a
Take
presentation
care
tomorrow.
of it. This is
so
just
I'm
for
sorry.
fun. That's
I'm
quite
sorry,
all right.
y'all.
Thanks for jumping on to let me know, and I
Okay.
hope you have a good luck hitting the deadline.
Thanks. Bye.
No worries.
Ooh.
Think she's gone? All right, cool. Wow. That's a little cameo. We can just kind of sneak into it. So, Lady Blackbird, Steampunk Romance Adventure. Now that I think about it, maybe it was just nominated for Best Free RPG. I don't care, because I don't remember anything else that was nominated in 2011, so in my heart, it won. This is a 16-page PDF that you can download off of John Harper's website. All that he asks is if you play it, shout about it, which I've done many times. I've run this a number of times, and I love this game a great deal. It comes with 5 pre-generated characters, but I kind of call them mostly generated characters because they're springboards, right? There are no pictures for those characters. They have names. They have some ideas behind them that will give you something to start with, but the games, as we get into it, you'll find out that you can really grow and shape this character to the story that we're telling and your own desires of where you want to take that character. So we have 5 characters that I'll list out quickly, and then let's see who wants to play what. So first of all, I'm going to drop into the Hangout for all of you. Hopefully this will be helpful. If not, you can feel free to ignore it. But I've created a little Google spreadsheet so everybody can kind of track their stuff if you actually need that kind of doodads and the like. It's not Roll20, it's not graphical, but it's functional. And so the characters that we have for this game are the titular character. I love saying that word. I'm sorry. I'm like 10. Natasha Siri, Lady Blackbird, an Imperial noble in disguise, escaping an arranged marriage so she can be with her lover. We have Naomi Bishop, a former pit fighter and bodyguard to Lady Blackbird. Cyrus Vance, an ex-Imperial soldier turned smuggler and soldier of fortune, the captain of the Owl, the steamship. Cale Arkham, a burglar and petty sorcerer, first mate and mechanic of the Owl. Please note that Cale Arkham is not given any kind of gender pronoun whatsoever in this game. Snargle, a goblin sky sailor and pilot of the Owl. Snargle also not gendered and is a shapeshifter. So really, what does gender even mean? And no, that is it. Those are our 5 characters that we have as the crew of the Owl and the 2 passengers. So, Cinda, who are you interested in playing?
I am actually interested in Lady Blackbird herself.
I am so happy to hear that. I love it when Lady Blackbird is a bold choice, and I'm super excited that you chose her. And let's see, we'll go reverse alphabetical order. Phil, do you have a character that you're interested in?
Yeah, I think I'd like to play Cyrus.
Oh, nice. So the 2 co-hosts of Talking Games / Panda Talking Games, to be named later, so you can play opposite each other. That's
it is. Pandas Talking Games.
Pandas Talking Games.
Yes.
Awesome. Jim, who are you interested in?
And I'm having some difficulty on my end bringing the character sheets up, but run me through the 3 that are left right now.
You bet. We have Cale Arkham. We have Naomi Bishop, who's former pit fighter and bodyguard to Lady Blackbird. We have Cale Arkham, who's the first mate, a petty sorcerer and burglar as well. And last but not least, we have the kind of cut-up of the group, the goblin, shape-shifting goblin, sky sailor, and the pilot of the Owl.
I can't do a goblin voice to save my life, so I'll tell you what. Let's
I did not know there was a goblin voice.
I most certainly cannot.
You are intimidated by James McClure or James D'Amato. Oh my God.
Oh God. Well, no, it's okay. You can mistake him for me. I'm fine with that. But no, I'm gonna go with the let me go with the ex-pit fighter.
Okay, so you're Naomi Bishop. By the way, Jim, I just dropped into the Hangout window, in the chat window there, a link to the Lady Blackbird PDF. So if it's easier for you to just download the PDF, it is at that link. That might be easier for you.
Perfect.
Cannot access my Google spreadsheet. Chris, last but not least, you have two choices, sir. Who are you interested in playing?
Well, I think I'll play Snargle, because I'm a Goblin Sky Pilot and a pilot of the Owl. I like to fly things, and, it's good times. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. I love it.
And that's the Goblin voice, by the way. That's the thing that I can't do. Yes, that right there.
Yeah, right there.
I'm glad that Snargle's not an NPC, because I've found that when I NPC Snargle, he often sounds as if he's a CGI character voiced by Russell Brand, and that's
Ooh.
there you go. It's a mixed blessing. Okay, so let me talk real quick about the rules so that you have a chance now that you're looking at your characters. This is a D6 system. It is inspired by two older indie games. One is called The Pool by James Vest, and the other is called The Shadow of Yesterday by Clinton R. Nixon. So what you have are traits, tags, keys, which have also been reused quite a bit in a lot of indie games, and secrets, which are similar to feats, like you might see in Dungeons & Dragons, and maybe even stunts from Fate. Although I could be totally wrong. You guys are way more the Fate experts, Chris and Phil. So with a trait, and we'll go again over this when we actually hit a conflict, when you want to roll dice, what you do is you build a pool of six-sided dice, and you're looking for 4s, 5s, and 6s. Okay? The pool of dice, you start with a trait, which is the larger name. For example, Cale Arkham has the traits of burglar, tricky, petty magic, and mechanic. So you pick one of those, and that's effectively the path you're going to go down to build the rest of your pool. So once you've unlocked that trait, that's what you're going to use for this roll. You start with 1 for trying, and then 1 for that trait that you're using. Then you look at the tags that are listed underneath that trait and that trait alone. If it is in brackets, you have not unlocked it yet, and you unlock it with advances and XP we'll talk about in just a moment. The tags that are not in brackets, if you can figure out a way that you work it in, and these are broader conflicts. It's not a very discrete task resolution, but it's much broader, so we'll figure out, how did you defeat these 10 guards is kind of a way that we might describe a role. Then you describe, I'm trying to do it so I feel that these tags will apply, and you count up those tags. And so the number of tags plus the trait plus the 1 for doing it is your base pool that you've got. But that's not all the dice that you could have. The pool, which I mentioned before, you have a pool of 7 dice that you can use for whatever you want. I kind of think of them like willpower dice from old White Wolf days, but I'm old, so maybe you don't get that reference. It's a pool of 7 six-sided dice you can pull in to anything that you want, and you can add 1 all the way up to 7 of those dice to the roll that you've already built. Now, the cool thing about the pool is that if you choose 3 dice to roll, you get those 3 dice. If you succeed, they go away until they're refreshed. If you fail, you've effectively risked those 3 dice. You get them back plus 1 more. So it's kind of an incentive to roll those pool dice, and that's kind of a cool thing about the system. So just as a first blush, any questions about using and building a pool of dice to roll? All right. Perfect radio of all silence. That's good job, Rich.
I was going to say, it's probably something I'm going to have to see played out in game once to fully grasp all that.
When we get to a conflict, we'll walk through it again. I just like to go over it in broad strokes.
I got you covered, Rich, for the actual edit. No, Rich, you did a wonderful job explaining it. I think I understand exactly how to play this game.
Ding! Okay. In order to get better at stuff, you have to hit keys. Keys are one of the golden parts of this system. Each of you will have 3 keys. Those keys are things that if you do it, you get an experience point. If it influences your roleplay, if it's a thing you're headed towards, you get an experience point for it. If you go into significant danger, which we'll negotiate that, right? You could potentially get 2 experience points for it. The awesomest part is there's also a thing for each of those called a buy-off. Now, a buy-off is like a heel turn. It's an about-face. It's that moment where Cale Arkham has been motivated by the key of greed. He or she has stolen everything in sight, and then there's this one prize, or there's this one thing that is just not worth stealing. And the player of Cale Arkham could say, you know what, I'm going to buy off the key of greed. It does two things. The first thing is you cross that off. It is no longer a key that you can get experience points for. It doesn't mean you're never greedy again, but it no longer is a way that you can get experience points that you can use to buy advancements. The second thing is that because you bought it off, you immediately get 2 advancements. An advancement costs 5 XP, so it's like getting a 10 XP boost out of nowhere. And so it is a huge part. I've seen entire games of Lady Blackbird pivot on one person buying off a key, so it's really exciting, and I love those moments. The last piece I mentioned was the secrets. Those secrets are things that you can do that are supremely out of the norm. They may not have dice involved. They may involve your pool. They're described, and if you have a question about it, when you feel like it's a good time to use it, let me know at that point. And then the last bit is when I talked about the pool dice going away, and also there are no hit points. There are conditions, similar to Mouse Guard is the way I kind of think of it, because Mouse Guard borrow from this, which borrow from other things. It's all one big pool that everybody pulls things out of to make games. Injured, dead, tired, angry, lost, hunted, and trapped are the potential conditions that you could have. Those dice do not, those conditions, if you have them, they will affect how you can narratively do things, but they're not going to steal dice from the pool that you're trying to build, right? They just make it harder for you to do a thing. It could affect your difficulty that I set. And to get rid of one of those conditions, you need to address it. And that is often done in a refresh scene. A refresh scene is preferred to happen with another player character. And the refresh scene is kind of that beat in action. So anyone who's oh man, I just had a little moment there. I started to remember beats in action. There's someone who's wrote Feng Shui, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Robin Laws.
Thank you, Robin Laws. He talks about beats in action and rising and falling action. One of the things I love about Lady Blackbird is that you will rise up action, and then a refresh scene will happen to give us a moment, a breather, a chance to reflect and learn a little bit more. Maybe that could be kind of like a really cool flashback, as might happen before a samurai duel. That's one possible flashback that could happen. Probably won't happen here because there's no samurai. But just an example to give you.
I've never heard anyone use that mechanic before, so that's interesting. With the whole,
it's really cool.
It would be a great idea if somebody wrote a whole game based on that idea.
They could probably do a decent Kickstarter with that.
They did. It's called Single Moment. You should steal from that game.
Oh man,
Rich, I thought you weren't one of them. Wow. People on this call.
I said the game was serious. I didn't say the lead-up would be serious. Okay. So the last bit I want to do before we jump in, because always we'll roll it back. I mean, it's no problem to take a moment and make sure that you guys are comfortable with the mechanics, but there is helping. And the helping, the way that it works is that if you are at a point where your character could help out someone else make a die roll, you give them one of your pool dice, and they get to add that to their total pool that they're rolling. If they fail, you get your helping die back. If they succeed, then you don't get it back until a refresh scene happens. So, anyone have any questions about the brief overview of the mechanics? Anything that didn't make any sense when I first described it?
No, I'm good.
All right. Awesome.
Ready to dive in.
Okay. Thank you all for giving me those few moments. Now I'm going to stick on my old man glasses because I'm going to read some box text, and then we will begin the fun. That is Lady Blackbird.
One real quick thing.
Yes.
Phil, I did not get which one you were. I got send in Chris.
Oh, I'm Cyrus Vance, the captain.
He's got a lower third.
Well, so do I.
I know. Well, I was just pointing it out for the person who didn't look, so. Any other questions?
No, I'm good. I'm in the cell, but I'm good.
That's true. All right, here we go. Lady Blackbird is on the run from an arranged marriage to Count Carlowe. She hired a smuggler skyship, the Owl, to take her from her palace on the Imperial world of Ilysium to the far reaches of the Remnants, so she could be with her once secret lover, the pirate king, Uriah Flint. However, just before reaching the halfway point of Haven, the Owl was pursued and captured by the Imperial cruiser Hand of Sorrow. under charges of flying a false flag. Even now, Lady Blackbird, her bodyguard, and the crew of the Owl are detained in the brig, while the commander of the cruiser, Captain Hollis, runs the smuggler ship's registry over the wireless. It's only a matter of time before they discover the outstanding warrants and learn that the Owl is owned by none other than the infamous outcast, Cyrus Vance. How will the Lady Blackbird and the others escape the hand of sorrow? What dangers lie in their path? Will they be able to find the secret lair of the Pirate King? If they do, will Uriah Flint accept Lady Blackbird as his bride? By the time they get there, will she want him to? And so we begin in the brig. If you have the ability to look at a Google spreadsheet, hopefully you can. I've just sketched out an idea for the brig itself. The brig is, there are 4 jail cells here. And this is steampunk, so they're all brass. And they're a huge cog. There's a huge cog door that separates the 4 jail cells with a narrow hallway in between them. The huge cog door, similar to like Deep Space Nine, that will roll into the wall itself. And behind that cog door is where the prison guards are currently playing some kind of card game. Snargle, what is the card game that these guys are gambling money that they probably shouldn't be wasting on right now as you guys are rotting in this jail cell?
Oh, they're playing Goblin's Folly. It's very exploitative. I don't really enjoy the fact that they're playing that, but it's I mean, I've swindled enough people with that. I like some Goblin's Folly every once in a while.
Nice. Now, for everyone else, Snargle has a key called the Key of Banter. If he happens to make the table laugh, or if he uses some crazy jargon to explain out a situation, he could get an experience point. I think he's going to get a lot of XP because Cinda is playing with us.
I have a nickname for a reason.
All right, so hopefully you guys are taking a look at that, and I will go ahead and display that just so everybody gets a chance to gander at it. So what we have here is you guys are currently in jail cell number 2. Oh, yeah, there we go. You can see that. Jail cell number 2. The other jail cells are currently empty. The cog door is closed. It was activated by this control panel over here of the number of dials and knobs and switches. It is a pneumatic device. The gun rack where the prison guards keep their rifles is here. All of your equipment was placed here in these storage lockers. And I am reminding myself we have everyone but an NPC of Cale Arkham. Is that correct? Right, because you chose Jim to play Naomi Bishop. So Cale's probably the only person who actually has any supplies because he has a secret. But that's okay. He's not going to share that secret with you guys because he's a thief. So the first question that I have, Naomi, you're an ex-Imperial, you're a slave, a former slave, you're a pit fighter, ex-Imperial slave. Well, how is it that they captured you? How did they take you alive? Why did they take you alive?
Everything we do in life is a sequence of choices, and the reality is keeping Natasha Bishop alive, our Lady Blackbird, is of utmost importance. And when the fighting got to a point where it was we could go out with a glorious death, or we could at least temporarily save Lady Blackbird, the choice was obvious.
All right, so you surrendered peacefully, or did you let them knock you out?
No. I fought to the very end while trying to keep all of their attention on me as much as possible, and again keep Lady Blackbird out of harm's way.
Nice.
There's a reason that I pay her so much.
Nice. Now, Captain Vance, your ship. You guys were captured for flying a false flag. Whose fault is that?
That's intentional. We had to. We needed to actually. Leave Ilysium. We actually had to get to Ilysium and get off of Ilysium without being detected. So we purchased that, and it was my call. I decided that we would do it, and it was risky, but I don't know if everybody agreed with me when we did it, but I made the call, and so
I've made plenty of runs that we haven't had to do under a false flag. Is all I'm saying, Vance.
Yeah.
You
All
know,
right.
Captain, it's not as bad as that time. We were on Nightport and we were dealing with the Remnants' hand. I mean, it's fine. This we can get out of this.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a temporary setback, so I mean, we only have a certain amount of time before they figure it out, but if we can get moving.
Well, if you guys would just start figuring out how to get us out of this cell, that would probably be helpful.
I have a plan.
I am all ears, Captain.
I mean, it's not a
And when
whole
he says
plan.
that, I make my ear even bigger.
Please take an XP.
This is going to happen a lot.
It's going to be like a 10th level character before this thing's over.
Snargle's going to get us out of everything because I just giggle. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
All right, it's not so much a plan. More like an idea.
Is it like 12% of a plan?
Yeah, it's like 12% of a plan. But it has a lot to do. It has a lot to do, Snargle, with the fact that this cell is. I can get my arm through these bars, so I assume you can get through most of these bars.
So what you're saying is you want me to make myself like paper thin and slide through?
Yeah, pretty much. Like the time that the bulkhead got caught on the engine, we had to kind of shove you under so that we could restart the engine. So make yourself thin.
Yeah, sure. I'm all about that, but how am I going to get through the cog door then?
Well, that cog door, that's going to be a little trickier. That's so. Like I said, I had part of a plan. It was like an idea that we get you through the thing, but we just need to get them to open the cog door. So
all right, I'll do that
we
first.
make enough noise.
Step first. Okay, I'm gonna thin myself up. Oh God, it hurts. Oh God, the cracking. Oh, why does it feel so bad? Oh.
I just push. I just get a shoulder in and just kind of lean in and help them. Don't worry about the organs. Don't worry about it. As long as your head fits through, the rest of you will go through.
As Captain Vance is shoving you through, I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to do our first die roll. Snargle, so pick which trait you think you're using. It sounds like Goblin.
I'm using Goblin, and I'm using Warp Shape, so that's 2 dice right there.
Well, 1 for doing a thing, so Goblin, and then Warp Shape, so you're up to 3.
Oh, 3. Okay, cool. Yep. And I'm also gliding through these bars as much as I can.
Interpretation of glide is different from mine, but all right.
Oh, cool. What's the glide then?
I was thinking more like flying glide, but
oh, you can do that too. Neat.
if it just says gliding, then make the argument, sir.
Yeah, I feel like
cool. So we're gonna glide through. All right.
So yeah. Well, the way that I glide through is I secrete this stuff all over my skin that lets me slide. It's kind of gross, but I don't do it very often. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's necessary. How do you think Snargle greases the the engine every once in a while?
If that's what you're calling it, sure.
Oh, that's awkward. Anyways, I'm actually not using Agile for this because I'm being pushed through, so I don't really feel like my Agile applies. But I'm also going to pull. Do I know the difficulty or do I not know the difficulty?
It's going to be a difficulty of 2, which you'll need basically 2, 4, 5, or 6 results.
Yep, I'm going to pull 1 die from my pool also.
Okay, great.
All right.
Sweet. So while you're coming up with that die, I'm a little curious. What does Snargle look like?
Okay, so Snargle, I actually look like a goblin, the typical goblin that you would think of, except I'm a little bit taller and a little bit thinner, and my eyes aren't as stupid looking, and they have an intelligent gleam to them, but my skin is a little bit grayish green. I have the pointy ears, which do sometimes get bigger and smaller as I decide to change them, especially to hear things. I have kind of gnarly, gangly limbs, and they're a little bit longer than they should be, but then, of course, every once in a while I just shorten them up. And because I can change my shape, every once in a while I get... I look like that most of the time, but I make my proportions more human-like if I feel like it. But I do look like a goblin.
Like this goblin!
little like that.
Okay.
And I totally failed that roll.
You failed that roll. That is fantastic.
So that means my die that I pulled from the pool goes back in the pool, and another die goes in the pool.
Yep, so you're up to 8 pool dice. So that's the good news. Now, the bad news is that I'm going to give you an injured condition because what happens is Captain Vance, you get your body through, but your head was just a little to the skull, and so he ends up banging your head against the crossbar a couple times until finally you realize you're kind of stuck, half in, half out, as it were, and it hurts.
Do I have to solve everything for these people all the time?
Captain, stop! Oh God, Captain, stop pushing
Just
it.
a little bit more, Snargle.
No,
a little
stop
bit
it!
more. Just
It doesn't feel good.
Just
I don't
go
like
with it. Just relax.
No means no, Captain.
I'll stop. Are you okay?
No, it hurts. I'm stuck. Like it's right on my forehead. Oh, this is terrible.
Poor Snargle. Like pat him on the head.
Snargle.
Come on.
Okay. Yeah. Do we need? He's halfway through, right? Like this is just a pitiful scene. So Snargle, it's your call. Do we yank you back in, or do we finish pushing you out? Because you can't stay there forever.
Just not Captain Vance. Somebody else. Just push.
Fine. It's fine.
On it. So once again, foot to the head, doing the exact same technique that Captain Vance was doing, and just shoving our wonderful Snargle out. So do I need to make the roll, or am I helping him try to?
You're helping him try again. But here's the thing: the difficulty now has gone up because you don't want to have your skull smashed in.
It's true.
So yeah, now you're going to need 4 successes.
Well. Cool. So I get one from Naomi. I get an extra die from Naomi. I get the goblin. I get the one for just normal. I get the one for being for warping my shape.
Yep.
And I have glide. So I currently have 5 dice, but I need 4 successes.
Yes.
You know what? I got this thing that I can do with the lucky break.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna pull all 8 dice out of there, because why not?
That's a good call. All right, so you had 4 plus 5 and 8 more, 13 dice. You got a good chance of pulling this off.
Yes, I succeed.
Fantastic. What's it look like when Naomi pushes you through the jail?
Well, Naomi is not nearly as mean about the pushing as Captain Vance is. So, and she's a lot stronger too, especially her legs. And she's powerful. So she puts her foot, instead of kicking me, she puts her foot on my forehead, grabs the bars, and levers herself forward to push me through the rest of the way.
Fantastic.
And there's this sound when I pop out. Yeah.
Awesome. A pop sound. Go take another XP for this last little bit of you getting hurt. That's been pretty great. Because that success happened, Naomi, you lose that pool die that you gave to help him out. And your secret is used up, Snargle, so please keep in mind you'll need to refresh that if you want to use it again. There you are, standing in the hallway, the cog door in front of you, all of your crew and your passengers still in the jail cell. What do you do?
I'm a little confused because I see everything in triple.
Just pick the center one. Pick the center one.
Okay. I'll pick the center one. Oh, this is awkward. What are we doing now? You want me to just go bang on the door?
Well, if you need me to trick them into coming in, I probably could.
Okay.
Yeah, if you've got something that'll trick them for coming in.
Now, speaking of tricking, Natasha Siri / Lady Blackbird, I am curious. Does Cyrus and Kale and Snargle, do they know that you are the Lady Blackbird, or are you using this pseudonym of Natasha Siri with them?
That's a very good question that I had not considered at all. I think that I'm using this synonym of Natasha Siri with them.
All right.
I think that Naomi knows, and me and I know, and that's it.
All right. So, yes, you are good at being an imposter and faking things, so you want to try to get the attention of the guards?
Yes.
How do you wish to do that?
I'm going to... so sorry, I have a cold. I am going to... I'm going to be cunning, and specifically, I'm going to be basically in this jail cell. I want to cry out and make it sound like there's a problem or trouble or something that would make them open that door. So.
Okay. Is there a problem like you're? Oh, okay. So like help. All right.
Most pitiful damsel in distress voice. You know, these terrible space pirates are attacking me. Help!
That is amazing.
You
Now,
put me in the same cell.
I love that. I have a question for Cyrus Vance. He's the ex-Imperial, so he needs to answer this question for me.
Yes.
The Imperial Navy, of which all of the people who work here are part of, is this a thing where both men and women work for the Navy, or is it more of a kind of hidebound, women are not allowed to serve on the Navy? It'll affect the difficulty for Lady Blackbird here.
No, it's gender neutral. It's
All right.
You don't think that the ladies would want to help me too?
Well, I'm just saying it'll affect the difficulty. I didn't say they wouldn't want to help you. Sweet. A difficulty of 3 for you to gain the attention of the guards and for them to come in and give you succor.
Okay. So 1 die for doing a thing, 1 die for cunning, right? And then
Yes.
if I am being deceptive,
Absolutely.
and I can choose multiple of the italicized things.
You can, if we can agree that that fits in what you're doing. Yes, absolutely.
Right. So I think that I am also okay, interpretation of misdirection. I am misdirecting them because clearly I am not being harassed by any of the people in this cell with me.
I'll allow it.
Allow it.
But I feel like that judge on most episodes is wrong. Let's
I'll
twist
allow
my
it.
arm a little bit.
so
All
I'm
right.
gonna. What's the difficulty?
The difficulty is 3.
And how many do you have?
4.
I'm gonna help out. I will start shouting, and making it sound like the other half of that argument.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So
Okay.
it's
Like
your
if you have
fault
the
that we
5
got
dice.
caught. If you know, yeah.
No, I'm just a poor innocent passenger. I didn't even know.
You didn't tell
Are
me
you
you were
spinning
a
any pool
criminal.
dice? Are you spinning any pool dice?
Pool dice. You know what? I'm going to put 1 pool dice in.
Not a bad idea. All right, so you got 6 dice, 3 difficulty.
4s are successes?
Correct. 4, 5, and 6.
I have a success by the skin of my teeth.
Squeak. All right. So as you do these, you're calling for help. Snargle, where are you? And I'm not dropping to map combat, but I am curious. Are you trying to hide behind the door?
So this is what I'm going to do. One, I'm going to smash all of the lights that are in the hallway here, so that it's dark in here.
Ooh.
Then I'm going to leap up and pull myself up by the bars to hang myself up above the door, like in the corner by the bars in the door.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, you can hide. I think that's a thing that a skilled goblin like you can pull off. So great. A few moments pass. Now, that cog door, there is like a metal plate. Not a metal plate, but like a heavy glass plate that they'll kind of come in and look in. And one of the guys comes up and he peers in and he sees what's going on there. It's a little dim, so he kind of squints. And then he goes back and you hear some pneumatic sounds and a heavy hiss of steam because it's steampunk, so I have to work that in. And the cog door starts rolling back, and you see a couple of the guards coming in with billy clubs, but they didn't go get the rifles because, one of them with blonde hair, and he's got a cool kind of Han Solo stripe down the side of his pants there. He comes walking in. What's going on? Hey, don't bother the lady.
No, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that these might be illicit people, and I just booked travel, and it's.
Oh,
it's,
please.
I think that
She
I'm
paid
very
us.
much
She paid us to smuggle her out of Ilysium.
No, I shouldn't even be
She's
here.
just making this stuff
shouldn't
up.
even
If
be
anything,
here.
I'm the innocent one. She deceived us for hiring us for passage.
I think he might be a pirate.
I think.
Well,
I
we're
think
running
she's
everything over the
smuggling
wireless.
something.
We'll find out soon enough.
So as they're talking, that's
Right.
when, from my spot, as fast as I can, I like swing down out through the door, hit the ground, roll, and just slam all the levers to open up the prison cell doors.
Awesome. I'm going to give you a difficulty of 2 to pull that off, to quickly dodge through and make your way to open all of the doors.
So 1 for doing it, 1 for goblin, 1 for agile, 1 for quick, 1 for tumbler, and 2 from my pool.
Okay. Your difficulty... Did I give you that already? I want to make sure.
It's a difficulty of 2.
Yep. Okay, good.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I succeed.
Fantastic. So you dive through, and as those prison guards are moving in closer, trying to, well, we're going to have to separate you two, obviously. And then the doors open up, and the guy looks back, Micah, did you open the doors? And by the way, Snargle, when you dive through, there was one guy with like crazy wild red hair, and he was still at the table while his 2 buddies went, and he's raking in all of the chips off of the table when you dive past it. He stops and he looks right at you, and you look at him after you flip all the toggles.
I give him a big smile and like, wait till you meet my friend Naomi. She's nice.
The doors are open. Naomi, Vance,
I was going to say, as literally as that's happening, I took that as my cue. As soon as the doors slide open, what I'm going to do is just my big arm reaches out of the cell, grabs blonde hair by his hair, and I'm actually just going to pull him face first into the bars with the goal of knocking him out or killing him or whatever it is that end result of that is. So let's see if I get my dice pool right. I'm using the Pit Fighter trait.
Yes, and you got 1 for trying. If you want to move past just taking this one guy and try to take the second guard out, is that your general intention?
Sure. Yeah.
Difficulty of 3 to do that.
Okay.
If you want
So yeah, we're going to do 2 at the same time then. So all right. So walk me through this again. I get 1 for trying. Do I get 1 for Pit Fighter, or is that
Absolutely.
the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
You get
1 for Pit Fighter. I feel like combat tested applies here. I feel like brutal applies here. I feel like living weapon applies here, as well as fast and hard.
You've got all the dice.
Yeah.
You got difficulty of 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. So you need 3 of those. You're rolling 7 dice with no pool dice added in.
I only have 4, so I have to roll twice. So 3 total successes. That meets the requirement, yes?
Fantastic. Yes, it does. You meet the success. You bring one. His head comes crashing into the bars. The blonde-haired guy, he crumples. His knees crumple, and he falls to the ground. The second guy, Micah, he starts kind of backpedaling a little bit. You are fast, and you come in hard, and you... What do you sweep his leg, or do you kind of like armbar him, or what?
No, because I pulled Blondie into the bars that were our ballers. As soon as I swiftly go right out the door, I sort of just palm his face and go backwards, back of his head first into the cell on the other side of the block. Just bam.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He drops.
Bam! Absolutely, he drops, and then Vance and Lady Blackbird and Cale Arkham. What are the 3 of you doing? Cale, he's going to slip out into the hallway, but stay out of everybody's way.
I'm going to walk out into the other room where the guy's gathering chips, and I'm going to stare him down and tell him to get in the cell.
Oh, that is kind of BA.
I just like walk out the door, like nonchalantly step over the bodies that Naomi left, walk in, and the guy's got like a chip full, an armful of chips, and I just look at him and I'm like, get in the cell now.
Oh man, I think that's difficult, right? Because he could run out that door right now, but you just holding his eyes and commanding him to go turn himself in. Wow, difficulty 3 to pull that off. Let's see how this goes.
All right, so 1 for trying, 1 for survivor, 1 for creepy stare, 1 for intimidate.
Yeah.
And I'll just take 1 from my pool.
Okay. All right.
So rolling 5.
5 dice.
Wait. And when he says, I'm like, you really want to do that? Like, you should see the things he does to me at night. It's not pretty. I'll help him and give him a die from my pool.
Okay. Grab 1 as well. And that is 2 successes.
2 successes, and you needed 3. He pauses for a second, looks at Snargle, and then turns and starts running out of he's going to run the hell out and get to the hallway and try to raise an alarm. So Naomi and Lady Blackbird, aka Natasha Siri, what do you do when you see this happen?
Well, so I'm going to walk very delicately around these fallen soldiers because ew. And I started into that very with confidence, like I knew what I was going to do.
Well, just while you're thinking, to let you know, I totally think you daintily moving around the dead bodies because ew is very key to Paragon.
Yes.
So take an XP for that. And to roll back to give you just another moment, Vance, even though you didn't quite command him, I'm going to give you a key of the commander there for trying to dictate this overall plan that's going on, and then just trying to browbeat dude, which that didn't work out. All right, so Natasha, you move in. He's running away. You could try to stop him or let him go. What do you wish to do?
So what I'm going to try and do is actually head him off at the door before he actually gets out of the door to this room.
Ooh, interesting.
We're going to see how this goes.
Okay. Is this it sounds like you're trying to be athletic.
I'm going athletic. I'm going I have run, and then I am what I'm kind of hoping that I can do, I mean, I don't have anything on me, but I have some experience in dueling, so I'm pretty much ready to
that works.
Yeah, like just like take him on, even though like hand to hand is not really my thing, but whatever.
Yeah, chasing this guy down, I'm gonna say this. He's been taken by surprise, so I'm gonna make this a difficulty of 2. So you've got 1 for trying athletic, run, and duel. So you've got 4 without spending any pool dice.
I'm gonna spend 1 pool die in there.
All right.
Off the table it goes, and I have 3 successes.
Fantastic. What does it look like? Do you dive over the table when you tackle this guy and take him down?
I think I get to where the clockwork gear door is, and I pause for a second as I sort of see Cyrus Vance stare him down, and I see that scene kind of play out, and then I'm like, oh, he's gonna run. And so right as he starts to book it and he stands up and like there's chips flying from him on the table, right? I just drop into a runner's pose and then I beat him to the door, and I'm just standing right in the doorway already as he gets to the door, and then he basically just like has to backpedal or run me over, so it stops him. That's what
Fantastic, yeah. So he stops for a second. He has that that momentary lapse of like, I'm not gonna run over her. and he's thinking, oh crap. Sweet. So Naomi, he's got his back to you. He's kind of hesitated. He's an Imperial. What do you do?
Set him up for you.
Miss Siri, you shouldn't be in the front lines doing things like this. This is why you pay people like me to take care of this. I turn towards the captain. Do we keep him or kill him?
As I told him, in the cell.
In the cell. Okay.
However you want to put him in the cell, feel free. And I'm gonna head towards the equipment locker.
Don't hurt him too much. Just knock him out. We don't. Come on.
He's defeated at this point. I just walk over to him. I literally grab him by the back of his belt and his pants and just pick him up like he's a child and walk him back towards the cells and just toss him in.
Nice. Cool. So you've just hit Key of Guardian as well as Key of Vengeance by striking a blow against the Empire, taking out these 3 guards. Snargle, absolutely Key of Conscience for that little bit of trying to make sure that Naomi didn't break his skull, so take an XP for that. Good work. All right, you have cleared the brig. Now, Vance, when you go in, you open up, you've got 2-gun style, so I assume you have 2 guns, right?
Course.
That's one of your tags, so you must have 2 guns. Kale Arkham seems to be taking away more than was taken off of him, so he's very quickly just grabbing things left and right.
Easy, Kale. Not our guests' equipment. And I will get the ladies' gear and bring it over to her.
Even the signet ring.
Yeah, thank you, Captain.
Especially the signet ring. And
Excuse me?
No worries. No
Wait a
worries,
minute, wait a
miss.
Wait, is that a signet ring?
It's nothing.
Back. I
It's
slapped them all,
nothing.
slapping hands from all of them. Back.
It's nothing at all.
Miss, you're right.
Okay.
Thank you, Captain.
I think that might be a little key of hidden longing for the captain there. Just hinting towards it could possibly be. All right, now again, running the ship's registry over the wireless does not take long, and the moment that Captain Hollis finds out that you're in his brig, he's going to lose his shit.
Yeah.
Captain Vance.
Yeah. That I've been kind of counting that down in my head.
What do you want to do, Cap?
I'm fully aware that countdown has started.
Cap, what are we doing?
We're getting back on the owl and getting the hell out of here is what we're doing.
Agreed.
Okay. So how do we get there?
Sure. Yeah, I think I know the route through the ship. I was an ex-Imperial soldier.
We're indeed. Why, you are an ex-Imperial soldier. So, Cyrus, I imagine you're going to try to lay down a plan. What's the idea? Are you going to try to sneak all the way through? Are you going to pull the Chewie maneuver?
Yeah. No, we don't have enough. We don't have enough uniforms to pull off the Chewie maneuver. So, no, I think we need to take the least traveled route back to the Owl. So, we actually need to get from the brig down into the maintenance tunnels where the steam pipes run, and actually run through those until we get back to the hangar.
All right. Now, one little complication to make sure that everybody's aware of, in case you haven't read the PDF. The Owl begins with, it has its own conditions.
It has. It doesn't have any fuel right now. We need fuel.
Correct. You were going to refuel at Haven, and you were just about to park at Haven when you were intercepted by the Hand of Sorrow.
I wasn't sure if we knew that offhand or if we had to discover that when we got there.
Snargle's a pilot. You knew that you were going to refuel at Haven.
Cap, we got one problem. We got to get some gas. We don't have any.
Yeah, well, we are going down to the maintenance level, so down to the maintenance level.
Is there any particular kind of fuel that these skyships use, or do we get to make that up?
You get to make that up.
Oh, cool. So the way that they do it is that there's these tanks. And they're like, these tanks they're like 6 feet long and they're about 1.5 feet wide, and they fill them up with gas from the area below.
Yeah.
And that's what actually burns, and it burns longer and hotter than coal ever did, or any kind of wood or things like that. So that's what burns.
Yeah. So we know that they skim those. We know that they skim periodically to refill those tanks. So as long as we're on the lower levels, we could either get some, or we could route some through one of the steam pipes so that we can get it to the hangar and fuel the ship.
Oh, no, Cap, you don't want to route it through the steam pipes. That could be bad. We could do it. Not the best idea.
I mean,
well,
yes,
would it be bad for our ship or bad for their ship?
It'll be bad for their ship in the long run. Bad for us if we botch it while fueling the Owl.
I'm just saying, I'm not worried about voiding their warranty. I mean, we can make this happen.
I think what he's worried about is the pipe will explode while we're fueling the Owl, and then.
You know what? I don't care. Let's do that. That sounds like
that. I'll do
that one. Yeah.
All right, and that's
As
what
long
we're
as
gonna
it
do.
doesn't explode while we're in the steam tunnels with said pipes.
No guarantees, miss, but we'll do what we can.
Snargle looks at you with a big grin on his face that gets even wider. He's like, "Hey, you only live once," and then I leave.
Is that true? Do goblins only live once?
Depends on which myths you listen to.
All right. In either case, we need to get out of the brig and down into the maintenance levels.
All right. To sneak through the ship, the difficulty is 4, and I would see that anyone who wanted to give you helping dice could do so.
Okay.
Are we doing this as a group
Yes.
for the purposes of describing that?
For the purpose of describing this, we're doing as a group. For the purpose of this, I see it as musical montage. It is not a Scooby-Doo musical montage. It's just kind of a cool action sequence. So there's not people running across the
We're not getting chased by armor or anything.
No.
Who's got the best
so
tags for
disappointing.
sneaking?
I don't. Maybe you. Maybe me. I've got ex-slave that has sneak and hide would be the only 2 that would apply. So some, but not superb.
I've got sneak and hide as well.
I only have
Not me.
sneaky and distractions with my sly.
And let me, Rich,
Your
just ask
sneaker
for
is
clarification.
Yeah.
You can only tag one trait, or can you tag multiple traits?
There's a special secret that allows you to tag multiple, so I use that as my interpretation to say that you can only tag one unless you have that
Yep,
secret.
that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
I mean, it's your plan, Cap. So we should probably just key off you.
That's fine. Okay, I'll do it. All right. So
All right. One recommendation, because you do have a secret that allows you to kind of give other people orders and help them out, it might be good if you tell somebody else to do it. That's all I'll say. Sorry.
oh yeah, that is actually better. All right. So Naomi, I think you have the same two tags I do, sneak and hide.
Yep.
So why don't you lead us? I'll follow up from the back, and we'll just put everybody else in the middle.
And I kind of look over to Miss Siri to see if I get the nod from her to follow this order.
Yeah, I think this is still our best bet.
And
Okay.
I'll forward them. Okay, so I have, we're attempting, I'm ex-slave, and I have sneak and hide that apply, which gets me to 4 dice.
So I help by when we come across a hallway where there's a couple of guards at the end of it and they're chatting with each other. I distract them with I have like a couple of bolts, and I sort of slyly slide down the hall a bit, and I throw the bolts when they're not paying attention over their heads to make them clank off the wall and then go around a corner, so they're like, "What the hell's that?" And then they go chase that. So that's how I
Love
help.
it. I love it. I'm
All
just glad you didn't hop under a box. That's a good distraction.
I will. I'll also throw a die in to help because I will use my knowledge of Imperial warships.
Yeah, that's pretty helpful.
Okay, and then I'm going to throw in 2 of my own, just to give us 8, and you said it's difficulty 4?
That is
Miss?
correct.
All right. And wow, 6 successes.
Yay.
Look at that.
That is so cool. All right, so we have this series of events, including distracting with bolts and a point where you get confused and you have to get some instruction from Captain Vance. Then you come into the hangar. So I'm going to share this with you, and then I will screen share. As you guys come into the hangar, where I'm sorry, you wanted to go to the hangar, or you wanted to actually go into the maintenance level? Was there anything you wanted to do other than go to the hangar? Because I want to make sure I understand.
Oh, we need to go get we need to route fuel into the hangar.
Okay,
so
you're going to route fuel into the hangar. All right, cool. So yeah, you are able to sneak down into the kind of the bilge and the maintenance area where, hey, curious, Snargle, do goblins serve as part of the Imperial Navy?
Oh yeah, I used to be a member of the Imperial Navy at one point in time, a long time ago, because I have Empire in my Sky Sailor profile.
Oh, well, there is a gaggle of goblins who are down here in the maintenance level, working hard, and there's something a little different about their employment versus yours. As you see that they are all collared, and there's a long chain that is stringing between them, and they are shoveling coal into a gaping maw of a furnace here.
And they're using coal. Coal's terrible. It's bad for the lungs. So I look around. Snargle looks around, and he's looking for the. I mean, I used to work in one of these places. I used to be one of these people, and I'm looking around for the gang boss, the one who drives all these poor goblin slaves.
Yes, you can easily find the gang boss. He is human in kind of shoddy, coal dust stained Imperial clothes. He's actually not even wearing the official like button up shirt. He's just got like a white undershirt underneath that he's wearing as his regular shirt. He looks half awake as he's sitting in basically a Victorian barca lounger with an electro whip.
Does he have the keychain on his hip with like the weird like 3-prong steam key that you put it in and press a button to unlock the chains?
Mm-hmm. He sure does.
This is what I do. While he's half asleep, I just sort of start sliding through the goblins that are shoveling. I come up to one and I grab. I tap him on the shoulder. I put my lips up to his face and I go, shh, like, let me borrow that for a second. I take his shovel.
Okay.
And then I slide farther down the line towards where the guy sitting in his barca chair. And when I get up to behind him. I slide around behind him, and I'm like, you really shouldn't do stuff like this. And then I just clonk him in the head as hard as I can with the shovel.
Sweet. Difficulty 2 to effectively sneak up and clonk.
All right.
Clunk is an official term, right?
Yep. Yes. So I guess that's sly.
I think so.
One for that, for nothing. Well, one for sly. It's also sneaky.
Yes, definitely.
I think that's probably about it. So that's that's 3. Is it? I wouldn't call it crafty. I assume crafty is about building things.
Crafty could also be interpreted as being cunning about something.
Yes. I mean, it was the topic of a Beastie Boys song, so.
So crafty then for sliding around behind him?
I think so.
Using the goblins as my distraction.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
All right, so that's 4 dice right there. I'm actually going to spend 3 dice from my pool for this too.
That's right, because you use the secret of the lucky break, so you got them all back. Good job. Good call.
I only got 2 left in my bowl though.
Someone needs a refresh scene.
I do. And I only needed 2, right?
Correct.
I got it.
Fantastic. So you clonk, and the clonking is successful, and he slumps over, and the electro whip is unused, and you're able to pull the keys off of his belt, and the goblins all kind of crowd around. They start holding up their collars.
I start unlocking them, and then as I'm unlocking them, I'm like, anyone here know how to fly a ship? Or anybody here? I start asking questions like, 1, does anybody know how to fly a ship? 2, does anybody know how to run the fuel from the Wild Blue, the lower part? What's the lower part called again? Sugar.
Oh, the lower depths?
Yeah. Anybody know how to run the gas from the lower depths in the tanks to through the pipes? And if you do, let's do that. And then we're gonna go steal a ship for you guys.
Sweet. So let me ask you a question back so I can make sure. Snargle, as a pilot of a steamship, as a goblin, is that rare?
I would say it's not super common. Like some of us have a talent for it, but you need to be taught.
Okay, cool. So they look around, and there's one who's got kind of a reddish cast to his skin. And the Gerbil can fly. Gerbil flies.
Gerbil, we're gonna go steal a ship for you and all of your friends, and you're gonna take that. And we're gonna get out of here.
I'm gonna collect the electro whip.
I'm going to lean over to Captain Vance and just, this is it's great. We're freeing people and stuff, but I really feel like we probably need to get a move on. It's pretty important that we get out of here. Don't you think we've spent enough time? Do you think we really have time to get them a ship and stuff too? I think they're free and probably can go take care of themselves.
Well, miss, we're trading them for the knowledge of how to move the fuel over to the hangar so that we can fuel the owl. Otherwise, we will just plummet out of the sky during our escape. So just a few minutes more, miss, and we should be on our way.
Well, Cap, why don't you go take care of that with those 2, and I'll make sure that the fuel gets sent. Like, you guys can go. Go ahead.
This way, miss.
Interesting. That was an interesting conversation. So I think there was a little bit of key of hidden longing there in Vance's reception to being told what to do. I think key of the mission was motivating Lady Blackbird as well. So let's be there. Good job. Naomi, how are you taking this? Are you going with the lady upon Captain Vance's urging?
I am. I've been.
I mean, these slaves are getting freed. You could totally help out with that.
But I've been dead-eyed stared like ever since I saw that they had slaves on this ship. I mean, while the rest of the crew sort of jumped into action, I was kind of just like a little bit in shock, a little bit going to flashbacks of things that happened in my own life, and now what's going through my mind is how many more of them are on this ship, and do we not have a secondary mission here? Because some things are more important than just us. But for the moment, I'm following with the captain's urges.
All right. Cool. Oh, and also key of conscience for trying to make sure that your people get off. Good move on that one, Snargle. Great. All right, so Snargle's splitting off from the group and organizing the goblins to start sending fuel towards the hangar where the owl is being kept. And Captain Vance, what are you doing with the rest of the crew?
Well, we've got to go get the owl ready. So we got to get her fueled. It's not going to matter. Nothing's going to matter unless we get it fueled. So we're going to have to get in the hangar and very carefully get the owl fueled. So I'm going to take. I will take Natasha and Naomi with me, and I think we're taking a couple goblins. I guess is along the way.
Sure.
Yep. And yeah, we'll. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna need to go check out the hangar. So we'll head down the steam pipes, just kind of following the pipes to the hangar, and then I assume that there'll be some sort of hatch or something that we can climb up out of to get into the hangar.
I love it. So you climb up out of the hatch, and what you see is this hangar. You're coming up near the crates and supplies here. So the Hand of Sorrow uses a small series. Basically, this is one of a few hangars. They have squadrons of biplanes, and these biplanes are actually suspended from, like, there's a catwalk that runs along. I'm not sure if you guys can see my actual eye. There we go. So the biplanes are suspended, and there's a catwalk where you can kind of jump down in. These three are currently being repaired. There are engineers and mechanics that are working here, and right here in the middle, locked down and slightly opened up on some of the exterior panels, is the owl with 4 different mechanics and engineers picking this thing clean because they think there could be smuggled goods on board. Here's a control tower, and that's where everyone, the officers, are keeping control of this overall hangar and making sure that everything is running without issue. You guys come up by the crates and supplies. So what is it that you wish to do, Captain Vance, Natasha Siri, and Naomi Bishop?
They're not even looking in the right. They're not even looking in the right places. They're just scratching. They're just scratching the hull. Animals.
They don't know any better. Just scanning the room, about how many total people are in this hangar bay?
There are 24 people in the hangar bay.
And they're all just seemingly mechanics. They're not no guards with weapons or anything?
Mechanics, engineers. There are a few guards near the upper entrance to the north, and then of course there are officers that are watching from the control tower who would obviously be armed.
Hmm.
The control tower is our biggest threat.
Naomi, if you can get me one of those hats and that sash-like thing that those engineers are wearing, I think I could go out there and make a distraction.
The question is, how big of a distraction do we need? Because we essentially need to hook up, some sort of fuel ports to this thing, to get fuel into it, to then get it ready to get out of here. It's more than just slipping one person by, right?
Probably would be.
Yes,
Oh,
but
I've got an idea.
yes, Captain. Really?
If we go to the control room and deal with it, then we could just order the engineers in the hangar to refuel the owl for us.
That's an interesting idea.
They're used to taking orders. We just need to go to where the orders come from.
Now, Vance,
I like
do
it.
you happen to look the part of an Imperial soldier, or is that just one of those hurdles that you'll cross?
I will once I get my hands on a hat and a sash from one of the officers. But no, purposely, while I dress formally as a ship captain, I can't actually tolerate since I can't tolerate the Imperials. I purposely dress somewhat off as to make a point.
All right.
But I know how to bark orders. So.
Yes, you do. Except to that redhead guy, but everybody else bark orders. All right.
That guy got the idea. He ran just the wrong way. That's a lack of discipline, not on my part.
There's a reason he was a prison guard. It's like the worst job to have in the Hand of Sorrow, unless you're a goblin. Then it's the second worst job. All right. So you want to basically try to keelhaul someone back here to the crates and supplies and disrobe them so you can, pull a little hitman action. That sounds fantastic. Well, now, I will give you 2 difficulties. If you just want to grab one uniform for either Captain Vance or Natasha Siri to use, I'll call that a difficulty of 2. If you want to grab 2 uniforms, then I'm going to call that a difficulty of 3. So who wants to perform this action?
So I feel like I would be pretty good at luring someone over here, if that's how we would like to do it. If one of you would prefer to do this differently, that's fine too.
That works for me.
No, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Have at this.
So I am going to use my. Let me actually think about which one is better.
Yeah, you're pretty good at this.
I'm pretty good at this in a couple of different ways.
Yep.
So I'm going to call it Charm. And I'm going to use my Charisma, my Presence, and my Command. I'm going to basically wait until there's a person moving kind of by themselves.
Okay.
That's the area. I'm going to step out of the boxes and just, or I'm going to stand up in the boxes, like reveal myself just to that person. And just say, quickly, I need your help immediately. This is a huge problem back here. Like, right now. Just come right over here. Or maybe there's 2 of them. Let's do 2 of them, guys. There's 2 of them.
That's fine.
You and you, right now.
Sweet. You've got 5 dice that you built without any pool dice.
Yep.
Is anyone helping her in this?
Yeah. Let's see. Once they get back there, once they get back there, I will aid by I will have a pistol out. So once they get behind the crates, I'll make it quite clear to them: shut up and get back here.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'll aid in the overarching plan, because as soon as they're back there, I'm going to do the old one hand on either side of 2 heads, knock them together to knock out routine.
That's your thing. Was that one of your finishing moves in the pit?
Oh, that's straight Hulk Hogan mid-'80s, man.
Okay, it seems like that was one of your finishing moves in the pit. That's the answer right here. All right, cool. So that's 7 total dice then? Unless you wish to spend any more from Natasha's pool.
No, I'm not gonna actually.
Okay, cool. 7 dice. You got good odds there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It was kind of interesting to
I
spend.
love that you guys are rolling like physical dice. It's just.
2. I don't know if a catacon is 1 or 6. It appears to be a 6. Fantastic. I have 3 successes.
That's exactly what you needed. So we have. It turns out that a male and female engineers were
Brilliant.
briskly walking across from one biplane to another. One of them sees you, and they come around the corner, and that's when you've got the drop on them, Captain Vance.
Quick, over here, quickly.
Sweet. They come around the corner. Now, one of those 2, Captain Vance, you recognize. His name's Lucas, and you served with him.
Oh.
And his mouth drops. Cyrus, they told me that you went. I can't believe it.
Well, get used to a lot of disappointment for the next second or 2.
And then he gets clocked. Okay. Yeah. So the next second or 2, you fulfill it, Naomi, and he is down, and you guys can quickly disrobe him. So we're going to cut back to Snargle. Smash cut back to Snargle. You have gotten all of your goblin compatriots, where you guys are kind of marching along the steam tunnels, and you've got some of them who are basically trying to reroute some of the lower depths to fuel up. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, I yell over like, Kale, tell Vibin and Gerbil to route the vibromolleculator with the steam tunnel pipes to make it flow through the boiler so that we don't blow the thing up. If you don't do that, you know this, Kale. You know this. You remember that time at Nightport where you almost blew everything up? Don't do that.
Listen, you're always trying to blame Nightport. That wasn't my action. I was just doing what Vance said. Blibbity Burble, do the thing with the blibbity, don't blow it up.
Okay, fine. Just. Oh my God! Don't let Vibin turn that knob. Vibin, stop.
Vibin, what I was just going to just a little turn?
No. The other way. Quarter turn the other way. Clockwise, not counterclockwise.
Okay. And he does.
So we're setting stuff up. Is there another I ask any of these goblins if they know if there's any other moderately sized ships after I heard there was biplanes. And once I heard there was biplanes, I'm like, there's biplanes? That's so cool. I want to fly a biplane.
Who doesn't? You've got that owl thing you have to worry about. But yeah, flying a biplane would be kind of awesome. Vibin says, well, I heard that there are whitethorns on the ship.
Oh, well, we can get one of those for all you goblins, and then you guys can take that.
Goblins
girls
are like,
and folks.
Whitethorn ships they're great. We like whitethorn ships.
Oh, well, where can you get one? Which dock?
Oh, it's we think that it's in the same hangar as your ship.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go to that one then. All right. So are we all set, Kale? Can we go now?
Yeah, more or less.
All right,
I'm pretty sure. Cool.
So,
all right.
So us and the 30 goblins go upstairs.
Wait, how many goblins are there now?
30.
They just keep multiplying?
Was there not 30 before?
I don't know. I thought there were like I don't know.
Well, a few of them got wet. So, you know.
I didn't hear a number earlier. That's why I said
it was a couple dozen sounds great to me. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, the goblins are making their way towards the hangar, and so we'll cut back to you guys as you are walking on the catwalks and trying to enter the control tower. Naomi, you do not have a uniform. Are you hanging back, hiding?
Before we get to the catwalks, Vance, we gotta have a quick conversation here. Care to explain what that little 10-second interchange that just occurred here was?
You mean the part where Lucas called me by name?
Yeah. Who the hell is Lucas?
Yeah, I think you can tell Lucas is an engineer, based on that uniform. Is there something more specific you want to ask me, Naomi?
Yeah. How in the world they know you, and how many people on this ship know you, and is that the reason that they found us?
That's not the reason they found us, but...
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I bought a fake registry for the ship. I changed the name, but since you've decided to ask, and I undo the first couple buttons on the collar of my shirt and peel it back to reveal just at the collarbone there's a brand from where I was court-martialed.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm not exactly liked in these parts. So the sooner that we fuel up our ship and depart, the better.
Okay, I think that we're on the same page. As for your ex-friend here, I have hesitations about leaving them alive knowing you.
Well, if we do this thing fast enough, he's not going to wake up before we depart. And I'd rather not kill Lucas. He's an engineer, barely a soldier.
This comes back, it's on you, Captain.
Comes back, I'll take care of it myself.
Okay. So you two have uniforms and I do not.
Or you can have a uniform and I won't. However you want to play that.
Either direction.
Now I think we go the Chewy.
Yeah.
So I want to ask a question that's been in the back of my mind all along. What does Naomi look like? I mean, she was a pit fighter and a slave. Does she look the part?
See, now you're going to put me on the spot with some of Jim McClure's absurdity within tabletop, and that is I never like to give physical description of character. I like for you to be able to each imagine your own character through the actions that I take, and there's some Jim McClure tabletop absurdity.
Yeah, that's a little absurd. I mean,
it's okay.
I just amount of description.
Like that.
He did that to me too. Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I do.
Yep. He does that to everybody. Don't feel bad.
You have to. No, you have to answer this question. Could you fit into the same uniform that Natasha's
Absolutely
here?
not. Absolutely not.
Well, it's like a sash and a hat.
Is that really all it takes to be an Imperial officer?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
No, I
enough.
definitely think that you're right. I think that the uniform would definitely probably fit Miss Siri and not someone of my stature.
Okay, cool.
So I mean that makes it clear that you two have the uniforms and I do not. How do we progress?
If you duck behind us, let us walk into the control room. You could just get them by surprise.
Okay. All right, I'm fine with that plan.
You are fast, aren't you?
I am. I'm more concerned about someone walking out of one of the other hallways and wondering why there's a random person crouched down behind two other Imperials, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
We're
Cross that catwalk when we come to it. Oh, I knew it was there and I missed it.
All right, so the three of you head up to the catwalks and walk across, making your way to the control tower. The control tower, you have to actually walk in front of it. It's two large windows. You've got 2 rows of seats, and these guys, they have heads like radar rally type headsets on, and the radio in front of one guy, and a bunch of more toggles and switches, and then there's one officer on deck, his lieutenant. He probably is going to recognize you, won't he, Vance?
Yeah. It's not the.
I'm curious. Did you serve? Did you serve on the Hand of Sorrow?
I think I did. I think that it was very unfortunate that it was the Hand of Sorrow specifically that picked me up. Although Captain Hollis is new, he was not the captain when. He was not the captain when I was drummed off the ship, which is why we made it all the way to the brig.
Nice. Lieutenant Bell is currently the officer on deck in charge of the control tower. How did the two of you get along, Captain Vance?
Bell. Bell doesn't like me because Bell's in charge of when to take off and when to land, and I don't. I don't follow orders extremely well, so I come in too fast and land. I leave recklessly, so I'm.
Oh, it's one of those. Stop buzzing the tower.
Yeah, that's
All right.
very much.
I hear it, Vance. All right, so you walk through. You glance at Bell. Bell hasn't seen you. There is not much of a chance if you kind of blow past this. So what do you do?
Yeah, we're not going for subtle. We're going for seize the control tower. So
nice.
I walk in, gun up. Like as soon as the door opens, I've just got both pistols out, and I come walking in, and I'm like, Lieutenant Bell, you have been relieved. Get down on the floor. Now.
Nice. Now, that sounds awesome. Natasha, I see here you've got dueling, you've got rapier and fencing, so I imagine you probably have one on you?
A rapier? I'm certainly hoping so and assuming.
Okay, and then, you've got your stuff from the brig, so that must have been taken, you've gotten it back, but you also have this shooting here. Do you have any pistols on you?
You know what? I don't, because I don't have a pistol yet, but what I do have is, so in the tool belt that I grabbed from the engineer downstairs, I've got this, it's essentially like a special wrench, like crazy tool thing, but it's a wrench. It also stores screws and various other parts, which it can fire and spin at high speed so that when they're doing repairs, that's how they do it. So I'm just gonna pull that out.
Sweet, you've got
you're
crazy
not supposed to use that thing. You're not supposed to use that thing unless it's right up against the bulkhead.
Yeah, you're not supposed to because it spins with significant power and it also fires with significant power. Probably not enough to kill anybody, but it could do some major damage.
Man, I really hope you blow a roll with that thing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're rolling up behind them. I'm not asking what weapons you're carrying because you're a living weapon.
Absolutely.
Captain Vance, to take over the control tower, I'm going to call that a difficulty of 3. So how are you pulling this off?
I'm going to try the same way I failed before, because I'm, convinced that discipline still works around here. So 1 for trying, 1 for surviving.
Even though it never worked for you.
Yeah.
1 for creepy stare, 1 for intimidate. Oh, and yeah, because I can't pull from 2 different things, so I will use those 4.
Okay.
And I'll definitely support
I'm
with sort of
helping.
like the intimidation from behind. Yep.
Okay.
I'm helping. Like I've got the wrench up, and a screw just goes sort of like flying over. It doesn't hit anybody.
And I'll take 1 for myself. So I'm rolling 7.
Quick mechanical question: when we're helping someone, can we give them more than 1 dice, or are we limited to only 1? Okay.
Give him 1 die. And while Phil's rolling, I just want to let you guys know that conversation earlier where you talked about and he showed you the brand, that is a fantastic refresh scene. So Naomi, Natasha, and Captain Vance, all 3 of you, if you wish, you can refresh your pool before this die roll. Or if you have a secret that you've used, you can refresh that secret instead. You can do one or the other. You also could have used this to maybe work on a condition, but nobody currently has any conditions right now. Other than Snargle.
Other than our goblin friend.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. How did
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No! Oh, no!
Sweet. Okay, so here's what happens.
That's plan A.
You're not supposed to roll fate dice. You know that, right?
I'm just glad that I got to witness a Phil roll. Okay, so you bust in, both guns out, and there's like a pregnant pause as Lieutenant Bell and the others assess the situation. We cut down to the hangar, and 30 goblins start streaming onto the hangar, running towards the Whitethorn ship, which, by the way, is totally pimp, because the Whitethorns, that's how they roll. At the same time, over the loudspeakers, Captain Hollis comes over the loudspeakers and says, now hear this, all hands. All hands be aware that the crew of the Owl, led by the outcast, the exile, Cyrus Vance, have escaped from the brig. Fire upon sight. Fire upon sight.
Ooh.
At least they gave you a title, Captain Vance.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Outcast and Exile. That's nice.
Sweet. And now, Bell, basically, he pulls out a gun and is going to shoot at you.
Oh, poor Bell.
Yeah.
What I lack in Intimidate, I'll make up for in shooting you dead.
Sweet. So, go ahead, you guys, to defeat, basically to take over the control room with violence is a difficulty of 4. And if you fail, a lot of you guys are either going to be trapped or injured or possibly both.
I feel like we should set Naomi loose on this one.
Yeah, I feel like we should. You know, this is what Naomi does.
Yeah.
This is why she travels with me.
I step aside and I'm like, I just like, make a sweeping gesture with one hand as I hold out my gun with the other, and let's take this room.
Sweet. So, just a brief second, Naomi, as you step into view, up on the second level, where there are two rows of desks with everyone, there's a young girl, and she looks up, and she says, "Oh gods, it's Naomi Bishop." All right, now what do you do?
Yes. I look at the officer with the pistol in their hand, sort of trembling there, and I just go, big mistake. And a wonderful, I assume this is going to be a mature level game, a bloody montage as I am going to get ready and just incapacitate the entirety of the crew up here in one just horrible off-camera blood bath.
Everything goes black and white.
Yes.
And we do a lot of shots of the walls for spatters of blackish blood. And so as you're building that pool, good note from Chris. Thank you. The people who helped with that die roll, you get your pool dice back, and Phil, you also get an extra die for your trouble. So let's build that pool.
So yes, definitely going with the pit fighter. Again, I think I get the whole gambit here. The combat tested, brutal, living weapon, fast and hard all apply.
I want to say you can't have one, but I have rules. So
what's that?
I want to say you can't have one just to be mean, but you have rules. There are rules for this game. You have to have them.
And then I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 dice as well.
I'm kicking one in.
Kicking one in.
Gun style.
We are at 10.
And is that one that you kicked in just like a random?
One as well. I think I'm going to give it to you because what I do at that point is drop the wrench and pull out my rapier and sort of charge into the edges of the fray with you in the center.
Nice. That's awesome and bold.
Notice
that Natasha has not broke bad with any magic yet. Just saying.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting
I missed how
I
how
love
Vance
rapiers and being deceptive. That's
No, keep Vance's until we know we succeed, because then I think I've got a prompt for Vance's help.
Okay.
Holy. I rolled 7 of those 10 die rolled a 6.
Holy cow!
A total of 9 successes.
Oh,
that is the most scary roll I've ever made. Wow.
Holy cow!
So I need to take a picture of that. So no, we have the black and white, the horrible off-screen montage that happens, and then when it's all settled and sort of color comes back in, the officer is still there alive and like crawling a little bit from where they were, and they hit a boot that is Cyrus Vance with his gun pointed down at them. If you would be willing to go with the prompt, sir.
Yeah. I sit Bell up, like I grab him by the back of the neck, and just lift him up and put him in a chair.
Okay. Yeah, he's battered and bruised and bloody. He spits out a tooth. I hate you.
I know. Which is why I'm going to leave you here, sitting in the middle of this colossal failure as you let me escape. So, nice. Captain Hollis can deal with your lack of ability, and I pat him twice on the cheek, and then I just pistol whip him out.
Nice. Okay, cool. That is it. You guys have taken over the control room. The control tower is yours. You see, as you look down, there are a couple dozen goblins that are streaming on. Snark, I'm not sure if you gave them orders, but they're attacking the mechanics and engineers.
I did. Here was the plan. We were standing behind the door. I'm like, I don't know what's going on out there, but here's the plan. We're just gonna rush out there and not kill, but knock unconscious everyone we see and take every ship that we can. All right, 3, 2, 1, go, team!
Sweet. It's goblins just streaming out onto from this wood hole. They're jumping out like crazy, and their teeth and claws, and a couple of them have that crazy wrench that Natasha has.
It's a good wrench.
That's just amazing. It has to be used, right? And they're taking over the hangar, and it looks like if you guys can move quickly and refuel the owl, you might be able to pull this off. So you see this Snargle coming on board. Kale's going to grab the pipe that you guys have set up, and he's going to run with it along the hangar bay and make his way to the owl and kind of fix that on to try to gas it up. Snargle, you probably should go through any pre-flight checks, or you could hop into the turret if you wanted.
Oh no, I'm gonna go hop into the owl and start getting everything going, like ramping up the engine, making sure that the fuel, the gas is flowing where it needs to go, checking all my gauges and my especially the vibro moleculator. Like it needs to be running just right, because that's the thing that turns that funnels the gas into the flame without being too much to make sure that the ship doesn't blow up. And I want to make sure that those idiot Imperials didn't mess up my modifications to it.
Yeah, take a XP for banter on that jargon. That's pretty great.
Yay.
I will escort Natasha across the carnage up into the owl.
Yes, which I'm very carefully avoiding. Like as I pass the
I'll
last.
hold out my arm.
Wait. As I pass the last body before I take your arm, I very carefully clean my rapier on their shirt, put it away very delicately, and continue to try to avoid the blood spills on the floor as I'm leaving, accepting the captain's help with some trepidation because it is easier to get out as a lady with a little bit of assistance.
Cool. So Key of Paragon for that action, Natasha. Key of Hidden Longing, and I haven't forgotten you, Naomi. I think you hit Key of the Guardian. You also hit Key of Vengeance and Key of the Warrior, all in one fell swoop with that carnage that you unleashed upon the control tower. So, you guys make your way out of the control tower, you head down the catwalk, and run towards the owl as it's getting fueled up. I think that the only thing you've got to worry about is the fact that there are pilots who are streaming into this place. They're probably going to have to try to shoot you down, I'm thinking. It sounds like that might be a thing that's about to happen here.
What? Can I ask you? So are the doors that they're streaming from, are they the kind, we're not talking crazy geary doors, right? We're talking like doors that would open into the area and could be held to close the, okay. So I think that as we're heading towards the owl, I'm going to turn around. I am going to throw my snatch my hand back from Captain Vance, throw my hands out in front of me, and a really powerful gust of wind is going to basically fly into their faces and push the doors shut.
Well, that's a fine howdy do.
Yell out Ventus Civitas when you do it. You should.
That's how we're gonna solve that problem. So
Sweet.
one
I'll call
and
that
then
a difficulty of 3.
Okay.
To basically close everybody in. If you fail, you probably close the door, but some of them got in and they're going to try to fire upon you guys.
Right. Which is still, I can hopefully maybe still stop some of them. So 1 for doing it, 1 for Master Sorcerer, 1 for Spellcaster, I think. 1 for Wind. I think that because I am using Wind, it's specifically part of my Storm Blood, that I have the storm raging within me at all times, right?
Yeah.
So I think I get Storm Blood on that one as well. Yeah. And so I think that's it. It was 3 difficulty, you said?
Yeah, 3 difficulty. You want to add any pool?
Yeah, I'm going to add 2 for my pool.
All right.
No, I'm only going to add 1 for my pool.
Okay.
I don't mind failing. I kind of like, it's fun to see what happens, right? But I did not. 3 successes.
Sweet. So this is a pretty obvious thing, right? It is obvious that a sorcerer has just unleashed this gale force wind to shut the doors.
Yep.
So yeah, you just whip that out. The doors come. You see, there were some Marines who were running. They had rifles up, and the doors slam shut in their faces. And you hear a couple of them kind of run into it, and they're trying to muscle it open. But you've bought yourself a moment to run onto the owl. And so, yeah, you guys can get onto the owl. It is fueled up. Snargle, you've got her ready to go. Now, you've secured this hangar. However, take a look at, and I'm not sure if everybody can actually see either in the PDF or if you want to look at the owl herself, the owl tab, the picture of the Hand of Sorrow. She has turrets. And escaping the hangar is still going to be just a little bit dangerous. Luckily, you're not going to have biplanes pursuing you. And don't forget, you're near the lower depths because that's how you guys were able to scoop that up and convert it into fuel. So that's a danger. The owl is treated to handle the corrosive elements of the lower depths for a period of time. But if anyone's out in that, like if your cargo doors are open, that's not going to feel good at all. So that's what's happening. As you see, the goblins are all running upon the Whitethorn yacht, the sky yacht of the Whitethorns, and they are taking off as if it were some kind of party barge. And I'm kind of having images of like like a Muppet, like Rocketeer and the Mayhem. Yeah, they're good. They're having a good time.
It's a little Return of the Jedi there on Tatooine.
A little bit of that. Yeah, I like it. Cool. So back to you guys. What is going on?
Once they're on the ship, I'm like, are we on? Can we go? Can we go? I just keep saying that until the captain tells me we can leave.
Yeah,
can we go?
I bang as I close the last hatch. I bang on the hull and I'm like, get us out of here!
I say strap in because I'm going to use maneuver 66.
Not 66, and I run. I grab Natasha and put her in a seat.
Excuse me.
So the way that the owl works,
rough handling.
The way that the owl works is that once we're out in the wild blue, it's fine. But the launching process is always tricky because it requires a lot of steam pressure. Because there's about 50 steam vents on the bottom of the ship that puts us in the air, and so it's like a bounce up and then a shoot out. And once we're out in the open, then it's better. But that's how this thing launches. So that's what happens. I hit the button which busts us into the air, and then I hit the other button that slams us forward as fast as we can. And as we go out, I know there's turrets around, so I start spinning us in a corkscrew, because that is a really, really hard way to get shot by turrets, as far as I can tell. And that's
You've never been shot by a turret while doing a corkscrew before, so it's obviously 100% successful.
Well, I don't just spin it in a narrow line. The corkscrew is an actual corkscrew where it actually is rotating in a good 50 feet corkscrew. Like, I am spinning and rotating and going around in these kind of weird circular things as I go through the air.
You pay him to fly this thing?
He's the only person I would pay to fly this thing. And I use the handholds to get into the bridge.
Nice. I love it. Love it. Fantastic. So this getting away unscathed is going to be a difficulty of 4.
Sure. So I have 5 experience points. I'm going to spend that right now on the tag of the owl, because I know how to fly this ship like no one's business.
That is spectacular.
So I now have the owl. Pilot for 1, 1 for just nothing, because you just get 1 for trying. I feel like this is pretty daring. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also maneuvering. I feel like this is kind of a crazy maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm evading also, so
Yes.
this is also evasion. I feel like this is also tricky flying.
Yes.
And then the 1 for the owl, which I haven't put in yet.
Okay.
I will kick one in. I'll kick one in for pilot.
Oh, do you come sit in the co-pilot seat with me then?
You got it.
Captain, you know the drill for 66. Make sure you get us to rotate in strange and oblong ways.
You know I black out every time we do this, right?
Well, whatever, it's fine. Like
my
that's
head doesn't shape.
You don't talk
my
about
head
that.
doesn't change shape like yours.
Well, whatever.
I'll hold the knob in place and pass out.
I'm spending my last 2 dice too.
Okay.
I'm getting away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Wow.
Jeez.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, you corkscrew maneuver. You are so successful. You're actually able to pull out of it before Vance completely loses consciousness. He ends up just drooling on himself a little bit. Naomi, did you cure yourself at all, or are you getting bandied about?
I'm sorry, ask that again.
Oh, did you secure yourself during this craziness, or were you trying to stand up during all of this?
Well, I guess it depends. Where I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that Miss Siri is secure and fine when all this is going on. So if there is a position that I could, strap myself into a chair as well, I would. If not, I would remain standing just to make sure that everything going around her is as okay as possible.
Is Natasha Siri secured? Is she good?
Yeah, he pushed me into a chair before he left and was like, I was protesting his rough handling of my person.
Yes, that sounded a little Paragon-y, by the way. Good job. Sweet. All right, so you guys corkscrew out of there. There's flak and all kinds of fire happening on either side of you, and then a couple of areas where you should have gone, but Snargle anticipates it. He knows the owl so well, and then you end up dipping down into the lower depths to escape and get out of the line of sight. The hand of sorrow is in your rear view, if you actually had a rear view on a skyship, which you don't. You've got fuel. You could, if you wanted, skip past Haven because that was a fueling stop. The last thing that you need to be able to deposit Natasha Siri at her chosen destination, the one she paid you to get her to, at the Remnants, is you need to know the secret of the true path. I need to know how to actually get through the Remnants, which we're going to take a break in just a second, but I want to make sure everybody's aware that the Remnants, which is the destination, is a swirling maelstrom of spinning world shards, almost impossible to navigate even for the best airship pilots. It's said that the pirate king Uriah Flint keeps his secret fortress somewhere deep within the Remnants, and only those who know the secret of the true course can ever reach it. That is the next to last obstacle in your path, the last obstacle being actually getting there. So you guys have escaped the Hand of Sorrow, and you'll need to lay out your next course, and it'll probably be a good opportunity for at least one refresh scene for an injured and completely poolless goblin.
Yay.
All right, so let's take a quick 2-3 minutes bio break for everybody, and we'll come back in and pick up from there.
Perfect.
Cool.
Sweet. Thank you.
Oof.
Hey, Phil, welcome back.
And I'm back.
Cool, welcome back. Hey, quick check-in. Any questions about the game or the rules or anything that still seems kind of confusing?
No, it's good. It's good. I like it.
Good. Hey, Jim, welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Hey, checking in. Any questions about the rules or the system or anything?
No, it all seems pretty good. My only point is experience. How and what can we spend those on?
Okay, that's a great question. For experience, you need 5, and that gets you an advance. The advances, you can either add a tag. You can unlock any of those bracketed tags that is on your character sheet, and then you can use them. If you have a tag in mind that you think would be really cool to add, you talk to me about it, and we can add that in. You can also add a new key, and if you had access to the spreadsheet, I would tell you that it's one of the tabs. If not, then you can go down to the PDF. It's on page 10 of the PDF. There's a list of new traits, tags, keys, and secrets. So you can buy a new secret, you can buy a new key with 5 experience points, and so you can add a new trait and a new tag. I don't recommend buying a new trait for a one-shot, specifically because technically a new trait is not supposed to come with any tags underneath, so it becomes kind of suboptimal. What I will do, though, is if you have a trait that you think is really super awesome down in that list on page 10, I could just let you pick 3 of the tags underneath that trait, and for the 5 XP, that way it's not going to kill any die roll that you have, because some of those are really cool.
Okay. And everything, essentially, whatever you're purchasing, it's 5 XP, no matter
Correct.
what it is.
All advances are 5 XP.
Okay. And just as an interesting note, you can buy another key for 5 XP?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's
well, it's
interesting.
helpful because of the buy-off. So if you get a buy-off, you get 2 advances right then and there, and it's always smart to try to buy another key if it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm literally, my is from a game design standpoint. If it's interesting, I could spend, if I really wanted to game, which obviously you're not supposed to game a narrative system like this, but if you really wanted to, you could spend 5 to buy a key to almost immediately buy off to double that experience.
Who says you're not supposed to game a narrative system? This game is actually built in the way that you can game it, and it's really kind of fine because it still plays into the narrative.
But I hear what you're saying. Basically, you could, if you could truly gamed it, like if you had a GM who was a pushover, which I'm not,
right.
You could buy a key, immediately buy it off, which gets you 2 advances, and use one of those to buy a key to buy it off, and basically go 2 for 1 all the way through, which would be obscene. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Still, I mean, the check and balance from a game design standpoint is still you have to narratively make that happen. So it's not like you can just immediately turn them over or anything like that. I was just curious.
Yep. All right, so we have gone for a couple of hours, and I'd originally pitched it as like 2.5, 3-hour game. So I want to do a quick check-in. Is everybody good to go forward?
Of course.
Good.
My time zone is like... Whatever, guys. It's 10 o'clock.
I commonly record with her, so this is only like we won't even be finished with 1 episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice. All right.
You're terrible.
Fantastic. So
I took 2 naps and drank a cup of coffee today, so I'm good.
I stay up stupid late all the time.
That's true. Chris just doesn't sleep.
You all are insane monsters, and I'm normally in bed by 11 o'clock. But
if you drank coffee instead of 10 hot cocoa, you also could stay up late.
Cheers to everyone. Alcohol. It might be Saturday night.
Clean water.
I'm good. I don't have to get up. Well, I'm going to be at Kung Fu at 10:30 in the morning, but that's sleeping in for me, so I'm good to go.
Okay. Cool.
And what time zone is Rich in?
Eastern, so it's midnight.
Okay, the rest of you. Yeah, like I'm just spoiled.
The Queen's time.
The Queen's time. Majesty Standard Time.
So you're Mountain then?
I'm in Mountain Time, yeah.
Rich, did you not get that? It's 8:45 Eastern, 6:45 the Queen's time.
Queen's time. Majesty Standard Time.
I mean, maybe you don't listen to the live show. I mean, I listen to every episode of The Gauntlet, Discern Realities, and +1 forward, but it's okay. If you don't listen to every episode of Misdirected Mark, I get it. It's fine.
No, what I do is I listen to the show until you get to the podcast roundup, because then sometimes you talk about my show, and that makes me extremely excited. Then when you want to talk to the chat room, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
I don't think the show is costing me a lot of money. I just want to let you know that +1 forward costs me a book every time you air, if I don't already own it.
Action Movie World's coming up soon.
Well, I already own that one. I'm an old
there you
hand.
go.
I'm an old hand at that
Monster
one.
of the Week and Action Movie World are the next two
I'm
to
good.
come up.
I get.
And
Then I got some time to recoup.
Yeah,
some
I'm
money.
recording a Pillion soon as well. I think you said you'd already backed that one, right? No.
No, I didn't back that one, so that one's going to wind up.
I own it.
Is that
I own
the
everything.
dragon? Is that the
Yes,
dragon
that's
one?
the baby dragon.
Yeah, I have. And not only do I own the book, but I own all the bits for it too. Like I have the gem bag with the dice and the card deck. It's great. The game is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
I'm in the middle of building my Powered by the Apocalypse game, like this week. So it's partway. It's partway. Most of the basic moves are now finished.
Oh right, that's you're converting hydro hackers.
Yep.
Is that what I thought I heard you talking about the
Yeah.
recent episode. Yeah. So it's not going to be Fate thing, or you're going to dual system it.
No, I think I'm just going to go Powered by the Apocalypse. I like the way the game's coming out a lot better
It
than
works better.
in Fate. It works a lot better, and it works a lot better than when it was in Fate.
All right. Yeah.
So my goal is to wind up on +1 forward. That's my ultimate goal, is to get Hydro Hackers done and make it to +1 forward.
It has to be done. And
Oh,
it has to be
I'll
published.
finish it.
All right. I know you'll finish it, but it has to be out there. So people who hit me up for +1 forward with a playtest that like is still in development, come to me when it's done, and then we will talk.
No, we'll go I'm patient. I'll get there. I
There
have
are a lot of PBTA games out there, and since I'm bi-weekly, I think I'm pretty confident that I'll still be around when you're done, Phil.
All right. Otherwise, we're going special episode for the.
We may go
for my
special episode if we
Kickstarter.
have to, because there needs to be more Misdirected Mark Gauntlet cross mingling.
Oh yeah, I've been talking to Jason. Chris, I got to talk to you later. We got some opportunities to do some cross stuff.
Nice.
I mean, if the Gauntlet wants to come and like partner up with Misdirected Mark Productions to become a super network of indie games, I mean, we could talk about that too.
You've been drinking again, Chris? You always ask people these questions when you're drunk.
I do, especially when it's recorded live and stuff. You don't have to say anything, Rich, because this is being recorded and people can see it. So don't say anything.
That's okay. I don't have that many subscribers. Don't worry about it. Okay. I mean, it's not like I'm PewDiePie. Like, I've just got a few hundred.
That's true. Yeah,
deal.
I love me some Cutie Pie.
Okay. Let us bring us back into this. So, guys have escaped from the hand of sorrow. It is, just to give you an idea of the world, right? To cross from Ilysium all the way to Haven, it only took, and that's the expanse of the system here, 6 weeks, right? It is breathable air everywhere except for the lower depths. Effectively, like the ceiling of the sky is the lower depths. And you could step, if you weren't in the lower depths, you could stick your head out of the owl and breathe the air. It's very kind of Victorian idea of space. There is a single star that all of the planets rotate around. So, they'll kind of very slowly have their rotational axis there. Now, only one planet, known as Nightport, the planet doesn't rotate. Right, so it has an orbit, but it doesn't actually rotate itself. So Nightport is always on the dark side of. It's always faced away, and that's where it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy. There, that's where all the pirates hang out. And so you guys are near Haven, which is a free world. No slaves are allowed on Haven, and they are not part of the Imperial worlds, which are located, if you were to kind of think east and west of the map. To the west is the Imperial worlds and the Expanse, and to the east is a lot more freebooters and free worlds, and it's a lot more hard scrabble, a lot of industrial pollution and revolution here. But you're near Haven, and you do need to solve for how you're going to deposit Natasha Siri. Also, Natasha Siri just kind of whipped out that she has some crazy wind powers going on.
Yeah.
There's that signet ring thing that Kale mentioned. Oh, and your pilot's head's kind of a little broken. So there's a few things you probably should want to deal with.
So as soon as we were done doing Maneuver 66, and I look at the captain, and I'm like, okay, Captain, you're in charge, and then I pass out.
like wipe my mouth from drooling, and yeah, I can pilot this part. In fact, I'll just put it on the autopilot, so turn a few knobs or whatever, and
Nice.
just get the autopilot going.
Where are you laying in a heading for, Captain?
Oh, I think we have to head towards Haven. I think at the very least we need information for the true path, so we're gonna have to talk to some people.
All right. Sweet. So you can reach Haven in less than a day. I mean, you're just a few hours. You're nearly there. So you set in the autopilot, and you've got an unconscious Snargle slumped in his seat.
Yeah, he's comfortable there. He's. I just, I take out. There's a little blanket. There's a little blanket he keeps on the floor because he often sleeps in the cockpit. So I kind of tuck him in, and the autopilot will go off if something comes up. So I will head towards the back because I am interested in finding Natasha.
Cool. So as you head towards the back, the camera is going to hover on Snargle because I think, Chris, were you interested in setting possibly a refresh scene? You've got a lot you need to deal with here.
I am. So if the camera fades out, then the camera can open. The scene can open again with me actually in the medical bay where I should have been, Captain. And luckily, it's Naomi who decided to give me a hand for whatever reason.
Because Naomi realizes that sleeping off a head wound is about the worst possible thing to do. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about goblin physiology.
Well, I sort of startle awake with the smelling salts, and I have Naomi is wrapping a bandage around my head, and I look at Naomi and I see the brand on her arm or the tattoo on her arm that marks her as a slave. I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that before. So, you used to be a slave, huh?
It was a past life, which was a life after my life before that. As we tend to move forward and try to make our what we can out of the system. That's not something I talk about a lot. I hope the bandages are doing something. Your goblin physiology is weird.
Yeah,
things keep moving.
Yeah, it does that. It's trying to fix itself. But what was it like for you? Because I mean, I used to be a lot like you, and then I pull back I'm wearing like a vest. It's like the only thing I wear like a vest and a pair of pants.
Okay.
And I pull back the vest, and there's a brand on me. It's the brand of the Imperial slaves, and I'm like, yeah, I used to be a slave too. They branded me with hold on, what's the kind of magic that Lady Blackbird uses?
Oh, well, she uses Stormblood magic.
Yeah, it's the only kind of magic that can brand a goblin, Stormblood magic, and they branded me.
You and the captain both show off your brands like that was the worst part of being a slave to you.
No, it's just what identifies me as one previously. I actually kind of hide it usually, but I figured since you used to be one too.
I did. Keywords used to, and I remedied that situation.
I also noticed you when I freed all those goblin slaves. You looked a little shocked. Are you okay?
That the Empire's still using slaves? That sits fine with you?
Not at all. Hence why I let all those goblins go.
Think any of them lived?
Oh yeah, goblins are resourceful. I mean, I only saw one of those white thorns get shot down. But better to die. Better to die free than die a slave.
What I wonder is when someone's actually going to do something to change this.
I mean, what can we do? I'm just one goblin in this wild blue. I mean, if you really think about it, give it 1,000 years and this whole place is just going to implode anyway. That star is going to go out.
1,000 years? That's a pretty small estimation.
Yeah, I mean the star's been dimming for millennia, as far as I know.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about what change I can do in one lifetime. And there was a lot of people that were in that pit fighting with me that said things like what you said. It can't change. We're slaves. We're here, and this is the life that we have. And I don't accept that. I've never accepted that.
Well, I change what I can when I can. So I like letting those goblins go. Other than that, I just like to fly. I mean, I got a ship. I get to fly it around. I get to see everything.
Is that your life's ambition? Just to fly around and see everything?
It's freedom. It's better than being a slave.
Or do you just serve a captain that'll let you die sitting at the pilot's chair?
Would that be so bad?
Would it?
That seems like a pretty good life to me. Just seeing everything that you can see, helping where you can help.
Man,
being a light in the dark.
we have different interpretations of what a good life is.
Well, what do you think's a good life then?
Changing some of what makes this world bad. That's what a good life is. Leaving an impact, making something that actually means something when it's all said and done.
Well, what is that? What would that be to you?
For now, it's getting Miss Siri to her destination.
So that's more important than saving, a couple dozen goblins?
To someone, that's their entire existence.
To those 24 goblins, that was their entire existence.
And would they not have been saved if not for this mission that we're on?
Well, they wouldn't have been saved unless we got captured and broke out of prison, but, that's neither here nor there.
I think they got saved because the fates brought us into a situation to which we could do the saving.
Oh, fate. That's interesting. You believe in destiny, do you?
You do all this flying and looking and don't?
No way. I've seen too many terrible things to believe that fate is what brings us to them. I mean, people are random. People do terrible things. People are people.
I think the fault in your logic is you think that fate only brings good things.
I think fate is not really a thing. I think things just happen. And we do the best we can with what happens.
Well, at least I can agree with you on that half of it. But from where I stand, your opinions and thoughts are more bleak than most people that I've met.
It's just the way I am. I try to do what I can, and I think that change is a thing that I by myself can accomplish.
So then let me ask, if you don't think that you can accomplish any change if you just are doing whatever it is that you're doing, what's the difference between now and being a slave?
Oh, I meant long-lasting change like you're talking about. Like, I change little things where I can. You seem to have far greater ambitions. I'd really like to see how they play out for you.
We'll see if we live long enough to make that happen.
I agree. Thanks for the bandage, by the way. My head's already starting to feel a lot better.
It's misshapen still, but I'm starting to try to figure out what normal misshapen is for your head.
It's probably about what your face looks like.
And I pat Snargle on the back.
All right. Nice. That was a good little refresh scene. Refresh your pool if you so wish, Naomi.
Yes,
and
I would like to
Snargle,
take my 7 dice back.
I was only down 2, but I will take them, yes.
Okay, cool. And so, Snargle, are you leaving the condition of injured or refreshing
Yeah,
the pool? Or...
I think I'll just take I'll take the dice back because I had none.
Probably smart.
I'm still stunned or dazed or concussed or whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Captain Vance, you were going out to speak to Natasha, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and with Naomi not around, this will be a whole lot easier.
Yeah, well, where... So some time has
dead
passed.
mother's not there.
Natasha, where is it that Captain Vance finds you? Are you in your room? Are you at the stout oak table where normally people eat? Are you up in the turret or somewhere else on the ship?
I'm at the oak table, and I've got a journal out in front of me, and I'm poring over the pages. I don't seem to be writing in it. I'm flipping back through what look like old entries.
Your own hand? Are they in your own hand?
Yes, they are in my own hand.
How old are they? Years old?
Years old, I would say. Yes, maybe 6 or 7 years old.
How old does Natasha appear to be?
I think. Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, it is. 'Cause it's been 6 years, according to that.
Yes. Goodness. So how? I think that she is, we'll go 25.
Okay. Thank you. So you find her at your oak table where you had many a meal, Captain Vance, and she's looking over a journal as you come in.
Yep. I walk over to the cabinet and I get out a bottle of brandy and 2 glasses. Neither one match. And I put one down in front of her and I put one down in front of me. And I offer to pour her, without saying anything, I shake the bottle lightly to see if she wants a drink.
Certainly, Captain, as long as it's not that moonshine swill.
Oh no. This is for special guests, and I pour out 2 drinks, and put the cork back in the bottle. Can I tell you a story? And I pick up and swirled my glass around.
I close the journal and push it aside and pick up my glass. Of course, Captain.
So when I was a cadet and was training, I had a roommate who, as it turned out, had some sort of magical ability that he kept under wraps, and in fact didn't use it until we were piloting together, and our biplane, when it had a engine failure, and we surely looked like we were going to fall in under the cloud line and just in an open biplane be corroded away. When a sudden gust of wind kind of lifted the biplane up and just kind of limped us back to the ship. So I learned 2 things that day. One, I learned a little something about my co-pilot. But the other thing I learned was that he was royalty. Not high on any chain of succession, but high enough to have learned the art of magic before leaving for the academy. And I'm starting to wonder, and rightfully so, your skill with the rapier, your courtly-like manners, and now your display in the hangar, that Ciri isn't really your family name.
It's interesting that you have that story, Captain. It's that's unfortunate. I wouldn't say that a ton of people would necessarily have identified that.
Miss, I don't feel like you're being completely honest with me. And while you're paying well, I need to know how well you're paying, depending on who's looking for you.
Perhaps you've heard of the Blackbirds.
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't? Yes, who hasn't? Yes. Well, perhaps you have heard of their daughter.
I mean, I'm aware there is a Lady Blackbird. I've not had the chance to meet any Blackbirds, as I had to leave my commission rather unexpectedly.
I'm going to knock back the entire shot of brandy and then reach out my hand and just say, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Captain."
I still have all my courtly manners. So, yes, I will. I will take your hand. I will briefly kiss it, and I will refill your glass and top mine off. Lady Blackbird, you are traveling in quite beneath your station on this ship, which leads me to believe, based on how much money you paid me, that you very much did not want anyone to know you were leaving, nor did you want anyone to find you once you left.
That's very correct, Captain.
And where are we really going?
Well, we are going to find the Fortress of Uriah Flint. That part is true.
What does the pirate king Uriah Flint have to do with the Blackbird family?
Well, there's a thing that happens when you're born of a high household where you don't get to decide your own fate. And I am going to decide mine. And I am not going to marry the pig-headed lord that they chose for me.
I see. You are fleeing an arranged marriage?
Yes.
No, I'm very okay with that. I'm quite okay with that. How then, Flint is waiting for you? It would be very easy if he could just send me the secret, the true path, so that we could navigate our way to his fortress and deliver you safely. It seems needlessly complicated to have to find this out ourselves.
To be entirely honest, it's been 6 years since I last saw him, and while I expected him to send me information, he has not. And I gave up on waiting for him, and I've left on my own.
I choked slightly on my brandy. You have not talked to your love in over 6 years? A pirate king, no less?
Yes.
I mean, love being love and all. You are aware he's a pirate king, right? 6 years for a pirate king is like 3 marriages, lifetimes, kind of.
I'm not going back.
Well,
I'm not going back.
that's fine. I have no urge to deliver you back to Ilysium. I've already been caught for using a false flag, and now I'm harboring a noble upon my ship. I assure you, I have no interest in returning you anywhere that anyone can put their hands on me. But this is a bit of a, I mean, we're going to go to some lengths to have to find the path ourselves then. As long as you're sure that somebody's waiting for you when we get to that fortress, I have no problems. We can get there. If that's the destination you want to arrive at.
Where else would you tell me to go? In this system, where else could I possibly be safe?
I mean, once you reach Haven, there are plenty of opportunities. Haven holds no... The Empire holds no sway over Haven. I mean, I can take you wherever. You've paid more than enough.
You think that I am some silly noble girl pining after a man who left far too long ago.
I think that you are not silly. I think you are a brave noble girl to break from your house. But I think you're going in the only direction you can think of. And you haven't completely thought your escape through. Which only makes you slightly silly, but still more brave. But you're already escaping, so you still have time to finish your plan.
It's possible that I have more information than I think I do in this journal. I just can't tell.
You have about another 12 hours or so before we reach Haven. I have a few contacts I can inquire about finding the path when we get there, if that is still your desire. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
Thank you, Captain. I will take that under advisement.
I'll top off your glass. Pour myself one and stand up. Lady Blackbird, your secret is safe with me. And I bow and then leave the common room.
I sit and I take a little sip of brandy, and I'm not looking at the journal right now. I'm looking after the captain.
Nice. That was spectacular.
Chris gave you so many good lines.
That was
I don't
spectacular.
know what you're talking about.
All right, that is definitely a refresh. That is a refresh for the books, not your journle. But
I have a question.
No, my
So-
journal.
yes.
That was my key of the imposter, right? I just totally bought that off.
I think so. So you get 2 advances for that, and I know I heard you, Chris. I'll give you in a sec. So that's 2 advances, which you can use immediately or kind of bank it and buy to what makes sense. Chris, you had a question.
So with a refresh, you can refresh your pool back to 7 dice, but you can also remove a condition or regain the use of a secret?
Yes.
Okay, so actually, I want to keep the injury because I like the injury, but I want to regain the use of my secret, Lucky Break.
You may remove a condition or regain the use of a secret.
Yeah, and refresh my 7 dice.
You can refresh your pool back. You may also remove a condition or regain. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't
So-
read it that way. I'd always read it as one of 3 options, but it could
It's
easily be.
It's
it could
actually the other way. You get your 7 dice, and you can do one of those other 2 things.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna keep the injury, and I'm gonna refresh my secret.
That's a good secret to have.
Yeah.
Super duper interesting, and because of the direction that scene went, I'm going to take the key of the traveler.
Ooh.
Ooh, I like it. That's a nice little direction. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Yeah. So, do we skip ahead to the arrival on Haven?
Real quick, I just assume I hit Key of Hidden Longing.
Oh God, yeah. I thought you were going to buy it off for a second there. Like for a moment there, I thought, oh, he's about to buy it off right here now.
Nope. Too early. And that will get me enough to get me an advance, and so I'm going to unlock one of the other tags on my one of my other tags.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Whew, that was a good pair of refresh seats. Yes. Good stuff. All right. So, with that answered, do we have anything else, you guys, any business you want to do on the ship, or do we skip ahead to the arrival on Haven?
I think we skip ahead.
Cool.
Yeah.
Haven, the most prominent of the free worlds. Here in the sprawling city hubs, the trade union tries to impose some order on the bickering clans and factions of the free peoples. Slavery is outlawed here, so many ex-slaves make Haven their home. I imagine the haven that you arrive on the capital city of Haven. You come into the docks. It's very industrial. There's kind of a heavy fog. I'm kind of imagining like London, industrial London times. So there's a lot of smokestacks that are throwing pitch up into the air. And when you guys arrive on the docks, there are a number of other skyships that are here. You guys slip in and get refueled. There are no real repairs. There were a few panels that Cale says he should probably work on replacing because you guys were in a bit of a hurry, and luckily you didn't go down to the lower depths. Where would you like to go? Is this a thing where you want to maybe try to find some contacts? Are you headed to a tavern? Captain Vance, I guess, is kind of your show here.
Yeah, we need to find Isabel Winter. She basically moves pirated goods. So
Okay.
she knows. She will know how to find out the true path.
Now, how is your relationship with Isabel? And should Cale come along or not?
It's okay. We once had a thing a couple years ago.
Who broke it off?
She did, because I, was not very responsible. I got caught with someone else. Yeah, well, I got caught. I got caught with her. I got caught with her secretary.
Wow.
So, well, he was, he was very nice. Mario is. He's hard to resist. So.
Wow, that's quite a revelation. Very cool. All right. So Isabel has an office that is very near the docks.
Yeah, she has a legitimate business, but but she deals with the pirates, under the table. So everything on the up and up looks, pretty straightforward. She has an office and she has a hangar and warehouse and things like that.
Cool. That sounds fantastic to me. So Winter trades in goods, and I imagine she's got like the cool sign that kind of hangs down, and very nice windows that are set up as professional, as you said, on the up and up. It's pretty profitable for her because she can sell it at a pretty significant markup, and all she has to do is basically wipe off the blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes has to repackage
It's better if it comes in pre-wiped, but sure.
Awesome. So who's headed in? Captain Vance, you just leaving everybody behind to go have this conversation?
No, I go.
She seems to like Snargle for some reason. So, so I'm just like, yeah, Snargle, come with me. It's fine.
All right.
Some reason.
Yeah, so Cale will hang back and work on reattaching panels. He may have to purchase a couple more, Captain. If you could just give me a bit of pay cash, I'll take care of that.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, we have a little cash right now, so yes, get panels and don't get the cheap ones.
All right, I'll splurge. Absolutely.
And let me be clear. Spend the money on the panels. Don't get cheap panels and drink the rest of it.
I would never drink a panel.
No. That panel that fell off the last time we were on the run, that was completely just poor shoddy.
That was Snoggle's glide.
Mm-hmm.
Cale. No, Cale.
And then I give him the claw thing with my eyes. Like, I do the claw things to my eyes, then to his eyes, then to my eyes, to his eyes. And I'm like, I'm watching you. Don't mess up my ship. And I leave.
He's totally going to drink that away.
I'm the first mate of the ship. I'll take care of it. Cheap panels work fine.
Hey, Rich, you can mark an experience point.
Gail has 1 of 5 experience points. So I imagine that. So the 4 of you are headed down the docks, and you make your way to this nice office. We've got I don't know. This would be some cool steampunk devices. I gotta lead into my theme here. So there's like a pneumatic tube set up where she communicates with other people throughout the docks, and there's probably like some kind of teletype machine.
Oh, that's where the prices for commodities come over. So she's reading the ticker tape to check on various commodity pricing.
Oh, sweet! I love it. So I imagine that Isabel Winter. Oh, help me out, Cinder. Who do you think would play Isabel Winter in this movie of Our Lady Blackbird?
Crap. Played Queen Elizabeth in the movie Queen Elizabeth, like Elizabeth was the first. Name has just totally flown out of my head. Okay, so never mind. Instead, we'll go in a totally different direction. I'm going to tell you Betty Page.
Wow, that's a totally different direction.
Wow, that's a jump. Okay.
We're going to go that way.
Hits on a few things for me, but sure. Okay.
You were going for Kate Blanchett,
okay,
right?
Sure.
I was going for Kate Blanchett originally.
It's totally Betty Page now, though. All right.
It's whatever. Pick one.
I like Betty Page. It's hilarious. So imagine Betty Page with a pair of spectacles as she's sitting in this little chair, and she's looking over the ticker tape, and then over there's like one of those cool looking like steampunky typewriters, and Mario is there, and he's just typing away. He's taking he's kind of collating and filing as well, and he looks up and he sees you, Captain Vance, and gives a slight nod.
I smile.
Little smile. And as you guys all walk in, little bell rings, right? Everything smells like sandalwood here, and then there's a heavy smell of ink that's kind of layered on top of that. You can hear that there's a tea kettle that's just starting to come to.
Yes.
And the as played by Betty Page, Isabel Winter looks up. Hello, Cyrus.
Isabel. I don't even notice that she's not really looking at me, but she's looking at Snargle.
And I give her the hey baby, how's it going? Yeah, I'm in town. Yeah, we should hook up and stuff. But I don't actually say that out loud. I just mouth it.
You just say it with your eyes.
Yeah, well, I'm standing like a foot behind, like a half a foot behind Cyrus, and I'm saying all that with my mouth without saying it actually.
Yeah. She watches you say all of that, but you get the feeling, she's receptive to it, but she's remaining cool around Cyrus. There's still hurt feelings there. What brings you here?
Well, I am shopping for some information. Do you mind? And I motion to the chairs off to the side of her desk. So she's got, her desk and everything else, but because she entertains clients, she has couch and chairs and a little coffee table kind of thing.
Mario, draw the blinds, please. And Mario gets up from his little typewriter, and he goes over and he starts drawing all the little wooden blinds and everything. And then the tea kettle whistles as she gets up, and she walks to that as you sit down. It's as if she's kind of making you wait for a little bit. She says, young lady, would you like some tea?
I would love some, thank you.
And then she pours She pours 4 cups of tea, and then has a little saucer. She puts some ice sugar cubes in that. Then she comes back.
2 sugar, 1 cream, please.
She gets a little cream thing out of the ice box, right? And then she comes out and she sets it down. She hands a cup to you, Natasha, and then she pours some tea, and then she hands one to you, Naomi, and then she hands one to Snargle, and then she takes the 4th one. She does not offer one to you, Cyrus.
No, it's fine. I wasn't thirsty in the first place. I actually look over at Mario because he knows I actually like the scotch that she has in her liquor cabinet. So I just kind of give a glance over to him and see if he'll get me a scotch.
He does. It gets a little bit of a cold stare from Isabel, but she doesn't say anything because you're evidently a client.
I just wink at her very subtly, just take a sip of my scotch.
You have some business, Cyrus?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, this is somewhat unofficial, but I need to make my way. I need to make my way through the true path, and you're the person I know best who can help me with that.
Oh. I don't really care why you want to go.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you.
I'm sorry, what's your name, young lady?
Natasha.
Natasha. And yours, ma'am?
Naomi.
Why are you traveling with this scoundrel?
I've hired his ship to take me to where I need to go.
And you need to go on the true course?
I do.
Has no one ever had business on the other end of the true course?
None who appear reputable.
Well, I did say they're traveling with me.
I mean, he's like more like a scoundrel, right? Like not terrible. Like
Not terrible.
The secret of the true course cannot be written down. That is what gives it its power. It is taught to very few captains of note. Purchasing it will be very expensive, Cyrus.
I see.
oh, but what about for me? What's the cost for me?
A little less expensive.
At that moment, I glance over at him like, what?
What? You like Mario? What's the big deal, man?
That's in the past. I just whispered to him, I actually just pull his ear up to me.
And it descends, of course.
Hey, cool it. Don't talk about Mario right now. That was in the
What?
past.
Dude, look, man, I have the advantage. I can make things bigger.
True, I get that.
Okay, yeah.
I get that. No, that's fair.
Take an XP for that one.
No.
That's fair.
Sorry.
We can talk about that part later.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Mario hands you your glass of scotch, Cyrus, and then when you take it, he kind of reaches his other hand, just draws it across the back of your hand and smiles.
Yeah, I will also smile, but making sure that Natasha doesn't see any of that. That's plan B.
How is it that you wish to pay for such a prize, Snargle?
Well,
I make eye contact.
I
with,
can run.
with
I can
Cyrus
run whatever.
at that point.
We can run whatever you need there. I know that you have dealings with the people on the other side of the Remnant.
Now you might trust with delicate cargo. To leave the rest unsaid.
Well, I do have a gentle touch when the time is right for that. I can also be rather abrasive if need be.
I'm going to set this to... I'm curious. I want to see if dice decide this. I want to call Purchasing the True Course from Isabel Winter a difficulty of 4. And I'm I'm setting that difficulty high for a couple reasons.
Okay, let's see.
I'm gonna kick in on this, so
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you are kicking.
I'm
in.
actually not gonna kick in on this.
All right, so
I want to mechanically kick in, but I actually
Right.
don't know if I really have a narrative way to explain how I would. I don't think I can.
so here's my angle for this, right? We're entering a negotiation.
Yes.
Right? She has goods that she wants delivered, and I said that I could do it for her. So I'm gonna go on my Sky Sailor
Okay.
side of things. So I get one for just trying this. I get one for
Right.
being a Sky Sailor because I'm like I can make this delivery, right? And then I explained to her like how good I am at seeing the way that things flow in the wild blue. That's my observation skill. So I explained to her like all the different paths I have. I remind her of the pillow talk a few times that we've had about the paths that I know and about some of those free paths that I've given her, which is basically free information that she got out of me. Also, like I give her some signals. Like I can understand the signals of the wild blue too, but I also give her a few signals of myself. I'm actually using my Sky Sailor as a metaphor for sex at times.
Okay.
And I also like when it comes to the pirates on the other side of the Remnant that I know that the disreputable pirates, because I am a pirate myself being a Sky Sailor, like I can make deals with them, and also that I know the underworld of Haven really well because Haven is in my list of things. So I explained to her like, I mean, we could go through you, and I would really prefer to go through you, but there are a few other people that we could go through, so I can actually drive that hard bargain.
I'll throw haggle in. I've got haggle, so if you
All
look
right.
like you're on a roll, I'll just back you up and try to close this deal.
I don't know
That
if
gets you to 8 dice then?
that only gets me to 7.
Does it? With the
Yeah.
help?
With the help, it gets me to 7. Unless, because I don't think Naomi or if I counted them right, it's only to 7 now. If Naomi and
Yep, you're right,
Lady Blackbird
7.
are really helping me.
Nah, I don't really have anything.
And Natasha's not helping.
I could, but I kind of don't want to.
Yeah, and I'm gonna spend 2 of my dice pool to get myself to 9.
Okay. Let's see
I
how
gotta
this
get
goes.
4 successes. Real quick, Rich. That all seems legit, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a stretch, but I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
And I got it with exactly 4 successes.
Nice.
Miss Winter pauses after you talk through all that and even threaten her a little bit, and she seems nonplussed by the threat. Even goes out to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that your captain told me that I was the only one who knew. So one of you is a liar."
Well,
I
it
think
sure
we
isn't
know
me,
who that
baby.
is, obviously. Well, it will be, again, expensive. You will pay it in trade, and I will only teach you, Snargle.
See, I told you we could do it.
So should we adjourn to the bedroom so you can teach me?
Oh, now, gosh. I'm sure that we can go to the sitting room in the back away from other prying eyes. Not the bedroom. That would be gauche.
Sure, no problem.
And then she leads you to the back.
Snargle, we'll meet you back on the owl.
Yeah, Cap. Have a good night.
Yeah,
I'll see you in the morning.
Good times. Yeah. See you in the morning. Good job.
All right.
So as we're walking back to the ship, Naomi just sort of looks, kind of as soon as we're out of the building, kind of looks around. Was there a lot of tension in that room? Like not.
There seemed to, I was drinking my tea, but everyone else seemed to be really tense and
really
quiet about
tense, like seemingly
That was
no
interesting.
reason to have that much. Right,
That much
Captain? Was it,
tension.
No. That's pretty much normal for business dealings. That's
Cyrus, is there anything you need to share with us? Do you guys have some weird past dealings with that woman?
I mean, I do business with her quite frequently, but no, I mean, she's very guarded about her secrets. The secret you're asking for is actually quite well guarded. It's not even one that we normally, like I said, none of us know the path. So that was a rather large ask upon us. But it is what you wanted. So
I look away when he says that it's what I wanted.
it is what you wanted. So we've now got it, Miss.
Where do the three of you go? You're giving Snargle some time alone to learn the true course, which
I suspect, Miss, that you have not been to Haven before. So there probably are some sights you should see before we have to depart. Specifically, there is some music that you should see.
That's very kind of you, Captain. I'm discovering that it's very interesting and exciting to explore the system outside of the Imperial holdings.
Yeah. Well, this is free of Imperial holdings. You'll see a lot of cultures that have not had their chance to be properly represented on Ilysium flourish here. So please let me take both of you to one of my favorite places for food and music, and we can just sit and relax and make our way back to the Owl by nightfall.
By all means, lead the way, Captain.
sweet. I think you've definitely hit the key of the traveler, your newly purchased key, Natasha, because you got to go somewhere exciting and new. Excellent. I imagine that there's some live bands. I imagine it's kind of an open air part of the market where people can come and you can go to several different vendors and food carts, right? Is that what you had in mind there, Captain Vance? Or was there something else?
Yeah, no, we're going we're going like lower deck Titanic kind of thing, right? So we're going where the real people. Like it's earthy, it's it's street food that you get in like foil wraps that you're eating like in your hands while in the clearing bands are playing and people are dancing and things like that.
Nice. Do any of you care to does anyone dance during this scene, this sequence here?
I was an officer. I know how to dance. Does Miss Siri, do you know how to dance?
I certainly do, my good captain.
Would you care to dance?
I think I would.
Sweet. So you get left to your own devices, as it were, Naomi. While you're there, one of the things you're sitting at one of the long benches, and there are a few other people who, of course, you don't know, who come and sit somewhat near you, but no one sits directly close to you. You see someone, a kid. He's got a bunch of nails in his mouth, holding them in his mouth, and a little hammer. And he comes over to this posting board with this slip of paper, a large piece of paper, and he tacks up this one poster there, and it says, "Tonight, fighting the champion of the pits, Korik Orc Blood."
Oh, goodness. Do I know this name at all?
I don't know. Do you know this name at all?
I'm gonna go with no. I've actually not heard it before, and I don't know who this new challenger is. But if the captain and the lady are gonna have their fun, and the goblin's going to learn the one true path, then when in Rome, might as well enjoy myself a little bit, dust off the old knuckles, and give this thing a go.
Oh, okay. Nice. So you want to go and see about this pit fight?
I do, yes. Is it just like a stage fight, or is it like a taking all comers, or what do we got for a situation?
So I'm imagining the Haven, tries to seem a little bit more refined than the slaves who are thrown into the pits in the Imperial ways. So I think it's a little bit more above board. And yeah, Korik he's a big fellow. He'll take on all comers. Pardon if to borrow from this, kind of imagining a setup like a boxing ring, right? It's not exactly necessarily a pit, right? And he stands in the middle, and then some strapping young men and women who think that they can challenge him will come up and he'll take them down. Yeah, so that's generally the look. You've got crowds that are chanting Korik's name. Would anyone here who's really new about the pits, would they recognize you, Naomi? Like that one girl in the control tower.
I think probably anyone that knew and followed them would recognize me. I mean, I was a pretty large figure within, the people that follow those kind of things. I was one of the top competitors, as it were. It's why I stuck around and lived so long doing that. So I feel and I'm a hard person to miss with my dynamic, very specific look to me. So I feel like people would recognize me.
Nice, a dynamic, specific, completely ambiguous look. I love it. Sweet. So I imagine this scene. We got hundreds of people. We got a bunch of. Oh crap! Words are leaving my brain at 1 o'clock in the morning. You have a bunch of seats.
Sorry.
Right?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No. A bunch of seats that are all at a raked angle coming down into the main squared circle, as it were. And as you're walking down the set of steps, the whispers come out. That's Naomi Bishop. That's Naomi Bishop. What? I want a tooth off of her. And it just starts spreading out. And Korik Orc Blood looks to where everyone seems to be reacting, and he very casually just throws someone over the top ropes. The guy is a beast of a man. He's nearly 7 feet tall, broad-shouldered, thick of muscle. He has tusks, and you can see there are a number of old scars. His face is like he's been cut numbers of times, from where he just takes so much punishment and doesn't seem to care. And he looks, with what, unfortunately, his eyes are a little bit beady in comparison to the rest of his large body. And he'll step forward and watch you as you come close to the ring.
And just step into the ring. I'm tall enough that I actually just step over the top ropes and enter. Korik, is it?
Aye. Your bishop?
Yes, and see, you know who I am, and yet I have not a clue who you were. You're the best scum that they could pull up after I made my escape.
I am the best.
You're not even close.
Well,
the best is standing in front of you right now. Now, I will save you the embarrassment if you want. If you just lie down on the mat right now and kiss the tip of my boot, then we can just call this a night, and you can continue being the best of whatever shambles are left of pit fighting. Or I can put you in that position myself, and I assure you it will be a lot less comfortable.
Are you done?
I was so hoping you would say that. And I point over to the ring bell person who still knows me, because he's been doing it for 50 years, and I give him the signal. I go, ring the bell, get this thing started.
Nice. He picks up the little hammer, and he dings the bell. And Korik starts stomping towards you, arms out. He's in a very wide open stance. He's not sure what to expect, other than you've got a mouth on you.
Yeah, all right. So we can do this two ways. Do you want me to narrate and then roll, or do you want me to roll first and then narrate?
Oh, I say narrate and then roll. So I think we're gonna call this one roll, but I'd like to kind of play around with it for just a little bit here.
Okay, because I've got a very very specific thing that I plan on doing. So I'm still talking up the fight. I'm still encouraging people to get bets. I'm actively turning my back on Kurek. Just totally disrespecting him in front of everyone in this ring. Every time he gets close, I make sure to get enough distance so he can't strike when my back is turned. But I'm actively baiting him, and he knows that, but there's not a damn thing he can do about it. So we do this little dance for a little bit, and then I finally get ready to actually start this fight. And by this point, he is just completely livid and he's fuming, and all he wants to do is knock my block off. And as I get ready to hook up in the middle, he goes for it. He goes for a big huge swing to just try and hit me in the jaw and knock me out cold, and I just duck down and take one of my powerful legs and I kick his knee to make it fold backwards on itself.
Nice. All right, so taking him down is definitely challenging. I'm going to set a difficulty of 4 as you try to take him down in one shot.
So once again, we get the whole gambit of the pit fighter, I feel like. Pit fighter, combat tested, brutal, living weapon, fast, and hard. I need to spend some experience points to buy another one on this. So that is 7. You said difficulty is 4 on this?
Yes.
Let's see. I'm going to... Well, let me ask this. I have the Secret of Destruction. I can break things with my bare hands as if you were swinging a sledgehammer. Is that a power that I essentially just invoke?
Yeah. It's scary.
I want to just use that to destroy his knee.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, it's with your bare hands. Right?
Yes. If the GM will let a little bit of bending, just because the legs were a callback to the sturdy legs from earlier. If you would permit
the callback is strong with this one.
Yes. So he does the big swing, and I just drop and duck it. He whiffs completely over me, and I just kick right through the back of his knee, and it just folds backward. Tendons tearing, his entire leg is just destroyed as he sort of falls back on his butt with one leg folded the correct direction and one leg folded the wrong direction. He goes to stand up and realizes he's not going to be doing that for a good 6 months to a year, as he is down on the mat and I'm now just standing above him, and my eyes go to his eyes and then to my boot tip and then to his eyes to my boot tip.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow, is this guy actually going to kiss your boot tip? I don't see that.
Oh, he is. The question is how much more pain he has to go in before this happens.
He shakes his head no. He's gritting. The tusks are kind of digging into the sides of his face as he bites down from the pain. I mean, this is a compound fracture of the greatest degree. And so he is trying to crab walk back away from you with what little bit of strength he has. But yeah, he definitely does not want to give in to that.
Okay, I'm going to kick him right in the teeth.
Sweet.
Boom.
Yes.
Do I need to roll for this?
No.
Okay.
So what do you want to do? I guess what are you trying to accomplish, and maybe we'll figure out that.
I'm just trying to do twofold. Just he still thinks he can fight even though he can't at this point. I'm trying to sort of officially end the fight as well as humiliate him of, yes, his lips are going to touch the tip of my boot, period.
All right, cool. Then there's no roll for that. You kick him in the mouth, his lips touch the boot, and that's enough to knock him out. He was about gone from the pain, as it were, before you began that. People jump out of their seats. They're screaming. There's people who are throwing roses. They're throwing coins up onto some of their winnings, but not all. Some of their winnings up onto the mat, and they start chanting your name. Naomi, Bishop, no, Bishop, it sounds better, Bishop. And the crowd starts chanting your name. Bishop. And then we cut away with just the soft sound of Bishop way off in the distance as we cut into the pair of you dancing, Captain Vance as well as Natasha Siri. This is not a courtly dance. Natasha, how comfortable do you feel in this? It's a little bit more of a jig. It's a lot more lively, a lot more actual like touching and kind of clutch maneuver going on. How are you handling this?
It's a more common take on a courtly dance, so I do know the moves, but I'm consistently surprised that there's like so much more touching involved than I am expecting.
It's closer as well. It's not as formal.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's much less like, oh, hand, distance. It's like the next thing I know, like I do the spin that I know I'm supposed to do, and then the next thing I know, he's like catching me in his arms, and I'm like, whoa, that was you.
And is that something you're surprised by? Is it delightful? Is it dizzying? What's Natasha's reactions here?
I think at first it's mostly just surprise, and she might actually almost pull away a couple of times, like right at the beginning, and then she relaxes into it, and she's really enjoying it.
Nice. So, Cyrus, this is a pretty great moment here as the song, it goes from this jaunty tune and it slides into a little bit more of violence, more string music, a little bit more romantic, slows down. You see a few couples come onto the dance floor, and some of them are dancing just kind of cheek to cheek. What do you do, Cyrus?
So not sure if Lady Blackbird's going to be comfortable dancing like this. I turn and look at her and look off, off the dance floor, so to speak, and if you are done dancing and would like to catch your breath, otherwise we could stay.
Okay. I'm a little flushed from the rapid movement, but and I don't think I really know what I'm agreeing to, but I'm not ready to stop dancing yet. So I'm no. I'm still fine.
Okay, and I slide my hand along her back and pull her close to me. This is a little different than how they do it on Ilysium.
Captain.
And we'll dance slowly. I don't think, as I recall, pirates are much for dancing.
I'm not even sure that I know.
I mean, 6 years is a long time, but how well did you know the Pirate King before you parted ways?
How well do you know the history of the Pirate King?
I mean, I only know the parts that are kind of rooted in legend, but mostly just a meteoric rise to power and consolidation of a number of various pirate clans. Is there more to that story?
Well, I knew him very well at the time.
I have to figure 6 years puts you at somewhere in finishing school. Schoolmates, were you? Family, friends?
He was in school with me. He was a very good student.
Oh, surely he must have been fairly intelligent to be able to rise so quickly and unite the pirate clans.
Yes, very ambitious. He always was. And then he left.
And didn't offer to take you with him 6 years ago?
No. Maybe Maybe he was more ambitious than he was in love.
I find that quite hard to believe, actually. I mean, you seem quite lovely. Pirating is, well, pirating. I would think that's hardly a fair trade.
It's not like I would have been able to marry him if he'd stayed.
Well, arranged marriages being what they are in Ilysium.
Hmm. Captain, your hand.
Turns out that's actually the custom, but if it makes you uncomfortable, I can move it back.
If it's the custom, I of course should be open to ideas of other cultures, I think.
Yeah, I think that considering where you are and where you're going, an open mind is probably the best thing for you.
Do we cut right there?
Yeah, I'm like, I have no idea where to
That's
go.
good. I think a cutscene right there.
Unless he's gonna buy off that key, which he just is holding on to it for dear life.
No. Oh, no, I'm not ready to buy that off yet.
Okay, sweet. So the two of you are dancing, and this kid comes running up and he screams out. He goes, "Coric Orcblood lost a leg! Naomi Bishop's the pit fighter champion!"
I look at you. That's probably going to attract more attention than we wanted.
Oh,
Is
Naomi.
your family aware that you're traveling with Naomi?
Oh.
Was she your bodyguard?
Yes.
She was your bodyguard, and I whisper in your ear as Lady Blackbird?
Yes.
Yes. Then, by all means, we probably should find Naomi and make our way back to the ship.
Yes. Quickly.
So that breaks up your dance and cut away to.
I was just about to tell you.
Oh, the kid just came running up and just ruined the moment.
Such a
No,
dirty
you
liar.
weren't.
You were never going.
No, you weren't.
Okay, Isabel Winter comes up and her she's got that Betty Page like cut and her hair's a little bit matted from sweat and the like, and she blows a little bit of hair out of her face, climbs out of a blanket and says, "You don't have to leave this time."
Oh, but I have to. We have work to do for you.
Well, you could put it off, couldn't you? Just
Yeah,
a bit?
I could probably put it off for a day or two.
Oh, learning the true course is very demanding.
Yeah, I would love to learn more about the true course with you. That would be fantastic.
There's a knock at the door.
This is so Lady Blackbird after dark.
What do you want? We're busy. I'm learning the true course.
You hear Mario's voice. "You know I don't want to be knocking on this door. It's important."
Yeah, because you'd rather be knocking on the captain's door. What do you want?
Take an XP for that one. Isabel says, Snoggle. "Mario, please." And he opens the door because she didn't lock it. And he says, "Lady Blackbird is... you remember the stories, the papers, Lady Blackbird, Count Carlowe, she was kidnapped. She was spotted on the Hand of Sorrow. There's a bounty for her of 100,000 pounds. And Isabel says, "Oh, that's quite a lot of money."
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Who's this Lady Blackbird?
She's
Nice.
she's the daughter of Lord Blackbird of the Imperial. How do you not know the Goblin? Yes, Lord Blackbird is one of the most powerful noble houses. The Lady Blackbird is his daughter, his only daughter.
Wait, you mean Blackbird like the flag, the Imperial flag with the Blackbird on it?
Yes, that.
Oh, interesting. So where do we get her? I could do that job instead.
I'm not entirely sure, but rumors are that they are on Haven. People are going to go crazy looking for her. So, Izzy, if you don't mind, I'd like to go ahead and call in a few crews to start work on this.
Yeah, sure. Do you have those documents for the One True Path that I can start studying?
And Isabel says, I wasn't lying when I said there are no documents. I'll teach you the true course.
Oh, the true course. Well, sure. Well, can you come back after? Because I do need to learn that.
Right. Well, of course. I'll teach you the ways. It's a poem, actually.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I'll wait right here.
Cool. And so she will throw on some underclothes and go talk to Mario, who is going to go out and get some crews looking for Lady Blackbird. And by crews, you know that means crews of bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that poor Lady Blackbird. I feel bad for her.
So we cut back to Cyrus Vance as you are headed towards the owl. Are you going to go? How are you getting Naomi? What are you doing about Snargle? And what's the plan here, Captain?
Here's the plan, Naomi. Get
Natasha?
Yes. Get
Sure.
Natasha on board the Owl. Tell Kale to start all the pre-flight checks.
Oh, yeah. When you come barging in, he's like closing the top on the freshly purchased bottle of whiskey.
And I will go get the goblin myself.
You better. I'm no shape to fly.
Yeah, I know.
Kale. One problem to another, and you're always drunk.
And I'll just run to Isabel's office.
Okay. Yeah, Kale says, I know that you're the lady.
No. Shh. No, you don't.
How
You know
do
nothing.
Well, I'm not that drunk. I do know.
How do you know? And who else knows?
How did you get here?
She was with me. She was.
Oh. You're so nondescript.
Rich, you can have another experience point.
Well played.
Sweet. All right, so we'll cut to Vance running towards the office of Lady Winter, of Isabel Winter, and the trading goods office. And yeah, as you come running up, there is One-Eyed Alice, who is one of the most notorious bounty hunters. She and her crew are actually coming out the door as you are running up to it. And Alice looks at you and gives you a little nod there.
Whatever you do, don't go to the marketplace. That's all I say, and then I run through the door.
Sweet. Okay, Alice is like, marketplace. Sweet. So you come in, and Mario's there at the door. He's on the. He's basically sending out a bunch of messages out the pneumatic.
Yeah, stop! I like wave at him. I'm like, with whatever we had that night, just don't. Just stop typing. And I barge in on. I find the sitting room and barge in on Snargle.
Hey, Cap! I just heard something. Lady Blackbird's in town, and she's got a bounty on her head, and it's worth 100,000 coin, man. Like, we can be $100,000 richer. Like, we bounty hunt sometimes. Like, this is like a harmless thing. Like, we just grab her and we deliver her, and it's 100 grand.
Of absolutely no coincidence whatsoever. I need you to get aboard the Owl and get us off of Haven immediately.
But why? There's a $100,000 job here.
Snargle, I am the captain of the Owl. Get on board the Owl and get that ship off planet right now.
I can't get us through the Remnant yet. I don't know the way.
Is Isabella in the room?
Yeah. She's in the room. She's wearing like her.
You know how to get through. You know the way. Took your time, did you?
Yeah. I took my time.
That's you, her.
Well, I figured we could spend a couple days here.
Isabella, I can't offer you the best quarters on the ship, but I'll certainly offer you the second best quarters on the ship. But now I'm going to have to, as my hand slides over my pistols, I'm going to have to insist you come with us.
Captain, what are you doing?
Snargle, enlarge your head for a second and make your brain a little bigger. We're carrying Lady Blackbird, and now we need to get through the one path. So, Isabella, come with me, get on board the Owl.
Whoa.
You're leaving planet side right now.
Well, hold on a second. Naomi's Lady Blackbird?
Look, I'm sorry I banged your head on those bars, but now is not the time to be slow about it.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get out of that cell before our registry got caught. I did not mean to bang your head so hard. But can you just follow orders right now? Take her with. You know you like her.
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so come on, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
I'm not going with you.
Oh, damn it! Yes, you are. Recite. Give us the path. Or come with us. There won't be an option.
Just say the poem.
She thinks for a moment, and she'll recite the poem quickly, which it basically gives you the alignments of the stars, because the Remnants is always moving, and how you can align yourself. If you listen closely, she does it. She does not want to go to the Remnants.
So, I mean, like, are you sure, Isabel? You come with me, and never know what could happen. Like, we could just go together.
I've got a very nice business here, and I've worked for years to have it set up. I'm not going to just throw away my life. I'm sure you'll come back if Uriah doesn't kill you.
Well, when I'm done with this job, I'll come back and I'll quit working for him and I'll come work for you.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
Great. If we're all good, we're all squared away here, fantastic.
Sure. Let's go.
There's an owl that's got to leave this planet. Let's go.
All right, let's go. And on the way, I'm like, she's only paying us 10 grand. We could get 100 grand if we just turn her in.
I look at you. I look down because you're little. I look down at you. I have no intention of letting Lady Blackbird go.
Oh, it's like that. Never mind. Sorry, man. Let's go.
I pat you on the head. Let's get off this planet.
Nice. Let's skip ahead a little bit here. Due to time, I think it would be interesting if we do the pull back to the galaxy map and we have a dotted red line.
Oh, travel by map!
Yes.
We have a red dot that is the owl is traveling towards the Remnants. You're able to you don't even have to worry about Nightport. You have the true course. If you take the secret of the true course as an advance, either one of you, because you heard the poem, then there is no roll to navigate in to see Uriah.
I only got 4 experience points.
Wow.
I think I'm less than you.
I don't feel bad.
I actually have 5, but I wasn't there.
Yep.
Although you could get me with the key of consciousness, because I am helping Lady Blackbird.
I don't know. I'll pull the audience here. Cindy, what do you think, Cindy? You've GM'd A whole lot. Would you let that kind of...
I mean, Vance is asking me for his help.
I did
Right,
say that I had no
but
intent.
he was commanding you, and that's what he does.
I did hit Key of Commander, but just I don't have enough to close out it to open up another seat.
It's fine. Let's roll. I'll roll.
Yeah,
Let's roll.
I'm actually really interested to see what happens if we just roll.
All
Let's
right.
roll.
Because
It is-
I am totally okay with either outcome.
It is extreme.
Sure. So I'm a pilot. So this is about. So I get one for just trying. I get one for being a pilot, and I'm flying through this thing. And that seems like a pretty daring thing to do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's going to require a whole lot of maneuvering, correct?
absolutely.
And a bunch of tricky flying as I dodge in and out of
Mhm.
little asteroids and meteorites.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Plus, I need to navigate this thing based on the poem that I heard.
Yes.
Is the poem also a map or no?
Yes, it is a poem and a map.
So my maps thing with that, I don't think that kicks in.
No, I think it does, because the way that the
Oh.
poem works, it kind of tells you markers, which is kind of what a
Here.
map does.
This
So,
is what I'll
In
do
sort
then.
of like a nondescript way.
Yeah,
yeah,
this is
yeah,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
Except that I
This-
actually only because I didn't actually sing. I should write that poem. That would be fun.
yeah. This is what I'll
Yeah,
do.
you
I'll
should.
actually
Give
I'll actually
details.
write out the poem and then I'll write out the map for the poem as far as the star charts go. And it's actually this really clever piece of equipment that I create that's full of gears that I just keep twisting as far as the alignment of the stars go.
Sweet.
So then it's an actual map.
I love it.
I'm gonna kick in a die for you using my navigation, so the two of
All
us
right.
can work on this thing. We both heard the poem, and we're both like arguing and pointing at, turn it this way. No, this way. We spin the whole thing around. We both nod in agreement.
And I am going to spend all 5 of my dice from my pool because I have Secret of the Lucky Break back.
Smart.
So that gives me 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 13 dice.
Okay, difficulty 5. You got a good chance.
No.
You say difficulty 5?
Yes.
Come on, son. I'm not going to fail. I'm rolling 13 dice.
Damn it, Chris! I wanted to know what was going to happen if you failed.
Do you want me to just tell him I fail?
No, not
No.
if you didn't fail.
It's a game.
Play to find out what happens.
I didn't actually fail. I didn't even roll all the dice yet, and I've gotten a billion successes. I have 9 successes. Hold on, I'll roll the rest of the dice. 10. I got 11 successes.
See, so I think what happens is Chris steals all of your luck, Phil, and then you roll all the crap. Is that
Yeah.
what happens? Is this consistent? Okay.
That's pretty much what happens.
Jim was pretty lucky earlier, too.
That's true. That was a crazy roll, Jim.
I think I'm going to require dice stream next time. No, I'm joking.
So here's what happens. I have the path, and I have the map, and I start flying it. And even though my head is seeing in triple, still, this is the smoothest, most relaxed flying of the Remnant ever. In fact, I fly like most people because they measure this thing in distance and how long it takes you to fly it in distance. I don't do it in 11 kilometers. I do it in like 7.
Okay. Wow.
I just made the Remnant run in 7 kilometers.
I thought that might be
Take an XP
where
for
you
that.
were
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Wow, I can't believe you went all the way around to get back to that. That's pretty cute. Pretty cute. All right, sweet. Go in only 7 kilometers. The owl, the maelstrom, like the outer edge of it is like a hurricane, right? And you have this asteroid field that's constantly swirling, and there's all kinds of dust and debris. This was once a planet that was destroyed by some ancient artifact, right? And then you hit that eye of the hurricane, and everything's calm in the middle. And you see there are some clouds here. That the lower depths itself, instead of that deep blue, that azure, it's actually a grayish cloud that's slowly circling like a whirlpool. And there are shapes in that whirlpool. You see tentacles. You see giant tentacles, like 3 to 4 times the size of the owl, sky squid. They're just under the surface. And there in the middle of the eye of that hurricane is the gleaming obelisk that is the fortress of none other than Uriah Flint, the Pirate King. There are a dozen huge warships here, some of goblin make, other of human make, and they are all part of the Pirate King's personal armada. Each one of them could be a match for the Hand of Sorrow. You hit that moment where you've come out of the danger into what could potentially be more danger. You are hailed by a signal from the fortress itself. This is Black Castle. This is the Black Castle. Please identify yourself or be shot from the sky.
Black Castle. This is Captain Vance of the Owl. We are here at the behest. I guess there's no hiding it from now. Here at the behest of Lady Blackbird, who is here to see the Pirate King.
Please proceed to docking. Follow the lights and we will bring you home, Captain Vance.
All right, Snargle, bring it in, and don't turn off the engines.
Cool. So the owl would kind of have the type, that establishing shot of the docking area, and the owl kind of comes in, and I imagine it's got landing gear that kind of telescope out, and you land on this. There's this long landing platform, right, that leads to a pair of doors that are inside the fortress, and as everything's landing down, you guys are locking down and making sure that you're secure. There's a good, it's windy here, right, and you have that long bridge to the fortress itself, and then the swirling gray clouds beneath you. And Natasha, when you look out, you see there he is. He's grown a full beard. Age has hit him like it has you, but he still looks healthy, strong. He has an artificial leg, like he has a peg leg, but it's not peg. It's like biomechanics, like freaking steampunk peg leg. It's like badass as hell, right? He's a Pirate King, so it looks freaking amazing. And like a killer huge cutlass, and he's there with some of his lieutenants, very dangerous pirate captains in their own right. And here you are. You just have to walk along that bridge. Dodge any feline animals that get in the way of the bridge. And you can meet with Pirate King. What do you do?
Okay.
I
You're
fixed
here.
my hair. Yeah.
We're here. We did it. All you have to do is walk down the bridge.
It's just a bridge. Just a bridge, Captain.
I mean, does he look pretty much the same as you remember him?
No. He doesn't have a leg that he used to have. That's kind of different.
You know what? Would you be more comfortable if I went and made your introduction?
Certainly, Captain. That would be very kind of you.
Okay. Then stay here. I'll motion for you after I've made the introduction, and then you can come and join.
Naomi.
I'm here.
I'm very nervous.
What are you to be nervous about? We bested the Empire. We made the last run here into port. You've got 50 feet between you and happiness.
No, but do you think he still likes me?
Of course he does.
Okay, well, Stand with me, okay?
I am here.
Watch Vance go down the walkway.
Nice. So we have a shot of the two of you standing side by side at the kind of the gangway of the owl.
Yep.
And kind of blowing your hair. Awesome maneuver there,
Awesome
right?
shot.
And
Yep.
see Captain Vance walk the long walk towards the Pirate King. He steps forward and then brushes aside a couple of his lieutenants. Captain.
Believe it's King? Is that the
Yikes.
the thing that people call you outside of here? Either's fine.
Uriah is fine. Anyone who has delivered the Lady Blackbird to me.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to, kind of make that introduction. You haven't seen her in some time, and thought that, I would just kind of ease this introduction through. I mean, here's some things you probably need to know. Because we've been traveling for weeks to reach here. And the Owl's a small ship. It's not as grandiose as some of yours. She has an amazing laugh. She sits up ridiculously straight at every meal. And there's this one curl on the side of her head that just cannot stay in place, that constantly falls in front of her eyes, that she's constantly playing with. And at first, it'll seem unbelievably annoying when you try to talk to her, that she keeps moving it out of the way and it keeps falling back in front of her. And yet, after a while, you're going to find that it is absolutely irresistible. And I think what I'm saying is that you're a pretty busy guy, Pirate King and all. And she's pretty nervous. And I'm in love with her. And I don't think I'm going to be able to leave here without her. So I think you could wave from here, she could wave, and we'll just get back on board the Owl and just take off.
You came through the Remnants to talk to me and tell me this as I see her.
To be honest, I would do anything for her, and that's how we wound up here. But I realize in these last few moments, before she walks across that bridge, that there's a chance I'll never see her again. And I don't think I could live with that. So yes, we crossed through and actually shortened your route. My pilot is pretty incredible that way. But yes, you've seen her. You would have gotten word out anyway that she had fled Ilysium. And now you don't have to look for her because you'll know that she's okay. So, I mean, I don't know if that's the best of introductions, but I'll just start backing up now towards the Owl.
And what does she know of this conversation that we are having, Captain Vance?
Well, she doesn't.
So you would steal her away from me?
No. I'm going to let her make a decision when I get to the other end of that bridge. I'll tell her how I feel. And if she still feels for you the way she did 6 years ago before you left her on Ilysium, then she'll cross the bridge. And if she doesn't, she'll walk back up the gangplank on the Owl. I'm not going to steal her.
If she is to turn her back on me, I would like to hear it from her lips. I will walk with you, Captain, and we shall hear what she wishes.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, being a pirate must be pretty good, right? I mean, pays well, right?
It's better than flying a C9.
It's a hell of a C9. Oh, there's probably some cargo. Oh, no, we didn't have time to load any of that. No.
I love
Yeah.
how flippant he is about it all.
I saw in chat, Chris, you had a snargle.
Yeah. So Snargle walks up on deck as the captain starts walking across the bridge, and he comes and stands next to you, Lady Blackbird, and he's like, you know, Lady Blackbird, he told me.
Uh-huh.
I just want to say one thing. I was thinking about as I was flying through the Remnant and I was seeing Triple.
You're still seeing Triple, and you just flew us through the Remnant?
Pretty much. That's how good I am. It's fine. You know, you went from one prison, and we brought you here to what looks like another prison. And me and your friend Naomi here, we both put a lot of value on freedom. I mean, you could go with this guy, or you could just hang out with us and be free and fly anywhere you want. Just saying. Plus, Captain's a pretty good guy. You might want to think about him. And that's really all I have to say. I'll see you later. And then I walk back into the ship.
Best wingman ever.
Kale sticks his head out and says, well, you have to give up the cabin because that one's mine.
Kale, you could sleep with the engine. Jerk.
You say it like it's a bad thing. All right. So Captain Vance escorts Uriah Flint, and there you are with your bodyguard, Natasha. You see him. He's still as dashing as he was, and there is Captain Vance delivering him to you.
Yeah. So, Lady
Actually,
Black.
Reach out and take Naomi's hand, and I'm like clutching it. Okay, carry on now.
Lady Blackbird. I think you already know Uriah Flint. Yeah. So he's all piratey and stuff. I checked. He's all still piratey and stuff. And you could totally just, if you want, you could totally just take his hand and go back across the bridge over there to the little pirate thing. Or maybe you could just stay on the Owl with me. I mean, flying with you these last weeks, was pretty nice, and talking to you in the evenings while the ship flew on autopilot was great. Like the time that you sat in the cockpit with me and we stayed up to some ridiculous hour talking. So there's that. The Owl, it's not a pirate fortress full of riches and stuff, but it flies and we go places. Okay, well, I don't think that the Pirate King is going to take too much more of my chatter before he has me executed or something, so that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to go stand over here by the Owl. My ship.
Which starts running.
The engine's still on.
On the long walk here with this captain, I thought of what it is that I should say, but then I heard what he has offered, and, well... Come and join me and be the Pirate Queen. I have an armada. I will protect you. Together, perhaps we can make a difference. Or, as he said, you can fly around on his C9. The choice is yours.
So I don't say anything. I step forward and I run my hand along Uriah's beard because it wasn't there before. I'm exploring it. And then I kind of stand on my tiptoes for a second and I kiss him. And then I
turn and start walking up the plank to the owl.
Yeah.
And then I stop and I thank you, Uriah. You gave me the strength to escape, and I'll always be your friend. But I don't belong here. And I turn and I go back into the owl.
Well, yeah, he doesn't respond, and you don't think he's going to have you shot out of the sky. So yes, you pull the gangway back up. Oh, Naomi.
Naomi hasn't moved.
Curious. Yeah, I just realized that Naomi hasn't moved.
Uriah, you've lost your pirate queen. Will you shoot this ship out of the sky as soon as it departs?
I could never harm her, even though she's wounded me today.
Then it looks like you're in the market for a pirate queen. You've got an armada. You can make a difference. I happen to be looking for the same thing. I don't have her money. I don't have her looks. But if you need someone that can command an armada, I'm standing here.
Naomi Bishop, I think a third of my fortune was won betting for you to win.
And me and Uriah walk back down the ramp away from the ship.
All right, and I think as the credits start to roll, we have the owl take off and fly back into the Remnants.
Oh my god, I love it so much.
Oh.
That was great, Jim.
That was great. That was Lady Blackbird.
Yep, that was Lady Blackbird.
So good.
It's a fun game. It's a really fun game. It is the entire game set up specifically for this scenario.
Yeah, I mean, it is Lady Blackbird's trying to get to the Remnants, and what happens? I've had a multitude of different things from Lady Blackbird deciding that she didn't even want to finish the trip, to Uriah Flint being a auto-mechanical, artificial intelligent planet weapon. Just a little crazy. Didn't see that coming. Yeah, it goes so many different directions. It's never the same. I have never seen that romantic of Vance.
He started it.
It was spectacular. That was really great. Really, really great.
I'm so happy that I could be the comic relief for that.
You are a wonderful, wonderful
Well, I'm
comic
sorry
relief.
that I
You're
stole
very good
Snargle,
comic
or I stole Lady Blackbird from you, but I think that the romance worked better, Chris.
It worked just fine.
I mean, I
think
know
could've-
you and Phil have been in bed. I know that's a thing, but
Yeah.
Sweet. That was super fun and well worth staying up super late for you guys. That was great.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for making time to play this game with me. I'm glad that you did. Really.
No, it was fantastic.
And
I assume We can
Now
stop
I can
the
listen to
audacity.
Rich. Yeah.
Now
Now I can listen to Rich talk about it on the gauntlet.
I just might. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the broadcast then. Thank you all again. Have a good
Hey,
night, everyone.
where do you want the